is up with the squad? It's your favorite RT with Uncle Tendencies in the building. Rob, the man media, Hot Take Wednesdays. What's the deal, y'all?
Yo, what's happening in the building? Oh boy, it's Hot Take Wednesday. Hey, y'all know what time it is.
Look, it's Hot Take Wednesday. I got a thunderstorm with snow coming.
Woo.
So I don't know. I don't know, y'all. Internet back crazy.
Hey, listen, we gonna make this thing ride out. You know what I'm saying? I got tornadoes coming where I'm at and rain. So we gonna let it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? So hey, listen, y'all want to pull up on us?
Let's see what happens. Let's see
what happens.
Here we go. Alrighty. Okay, hold on. So okay, let's talk about the portal. The portal been on fire. The portal been on fire, man. What's shocking you about the portal?
Man, listen. I'm gonna start off like this. We are less than what 13 hours for some real decisions have to be made. We're gonna find out what this LSU team look like. We're gonna find out about a couple of teams in about 13 hours. Because they got to about midnight to 11:59 to make a decision if they're gonna hit this draft or they're gonna hit this portal or what they're gonna do. So
exactly
by the end of the day, we gonna know some, you know what I'm saying? We gonna know what's really finna go. So I'm kind of like trying to preference what I'm gonna say. Cause if everything line up the way it's supposed to line up, we might get some bangers today. Yeah, some bangers.
Bangers today.
We might get a couple
more
bangers.
shocking than what we have seen already.
Yeah, we might get a couple bangers in the portal today. We gonna find out though, because you know, people got decisions to make. You know, in that 48-hour window, it comes. So any team that was eliminated from the Elite Eight, over the weekend, they got 48 hours to make a decision. So that's kind of why you seen Olivia Miles make her decision. But yeah, we coming up to that 48-hour window by midnight. So we gonna find out who, you know what I'm saying, who got to go. And then you know, the Final Four. They got 48 hours after the Final Four. But the good thing is though, even if they declare, as long as they pull out 5 days before the draft, they can still transfer.
As long as they pull out Friday before the draft, they can still transfer. Y'all,
5 days.
Like I said,
5 days.
Y'all, StreamYard, internet, everything is being weird. So excuse the camera when it decides to pop back on. It'll pop back on. But we rocking, all right? Because it say everything is connected. So y'all just rock with me. It's a weird day. It's a weird day here in the land of Oz. But we gonna talk this thing out, okay? So put a 5 in the chat if you're gonna rock with me anyway. While StreamYard and everything trying to stop us, not finna be stopped. Let me see some 5s in the chat that you're gonna rock with us, because we gonna rock this thing out, man. Let's make this thing happen. I don't know where the camera just went, but let's go, man. Let me see some 5s in the chat that y'all gonna rock with me. Let's go.
Listen.
Instagram just went down. I don't know what's happening.
That thing went off the rail. Listen. Let me tell y'all this. If this y'all first time tuning in to Hot Take Wednesdays, y'all in for it, you know what I'm saying, and y'all in for it. But if y'all this your first time, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, go to CessTalkSports, go to our channel. We got some previous lives, you know what I'm saying, when we really get into the hoop talk. So if this y'all first time here, make sure y'all pull up to CessTalkSports, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. She always got different guests on, not just me. So I just want to make sure that, hey man, we got to promote this thing up, man. So hey, y'all give her a follow if y'all on the RDMM media side tuning in. It's your first time listening to Cess Talk, man. Pull up on her. She got some different conversations. I've been on the platform a lot last week, and it was not on my channel. So y'all might have missed some things, but hey, let's get to it.
Appreciate that. Yeah, and y'all make sure y'all following RDMM Media for everything Colorado Buffs. Make sure y'all following both of us, man. Don't miss nothing. Don't miss no drops. Let's go. So the portal is jumping. Final Four is coming. Some of these people got to start going someplace though, Rob. I mean, I think it's over 1,000 folks in the portal now.
It is. It's gonna be about probably another 15 to 20 players that's gonna hit the portal from from like now to like after the championship game. That the big name players are not going to make a move to after the championship game. Once the championship game over, then that's when you're going to start seeing the domino effect of the big players, which is going to domino affect other players going to the portal. So it's a lot of players, but when you really break down the players that's actually in the portal, when you throw out that 1,100 number, it's only, I want to say, less than 400 players from the Power Four. So it's a lot of the group of 5 players that's leaving, trying to move up to the P4 level. So that's the difference of like that number looks high, but when you really look at that number of people that's transferring, it's really people. The P5 is bigger than the P4. I mean, the group of 5 is bigger than the P4. So a lot of the kids are moving from the group of 5 trying to get up to the P4, and then you start to see a lot of these people cut, from spots 8 to 13 of what they had, lead a program and transferring down. So that's why you see so much of the high number. But that's going to be expected, right? Just think about it. If you're a high school kid and you don't have a high major offer and you're not coming in to play big time, go to a group of 5, get your numbers up. You know what I'm saying? Come back, get your bread the next year. That's just what it is. That's just the model of how college is right now. So that's why you're seeing the transfer number being so high.
Okay, got you. So here's my concern though. So I got in the portal. Somebody just slid in my spot because my school wasn't expecting me back. I'm calling these places and don't nobody take me. Now what I do?
Man, listen, if you going into the portal without a plan, hey, it is what it is. Now, the best thing I can tell you is don't go in the portal without a plan. And if you kind of already know if you go into the portal, like it don't take you to the end of the season and say I'm going to the portal. By by the time you get to conference play, you kind of know where you stand there with the team. You kind of already know where you stand there with the team. If you're going to be there or you not going to be there. That's pretty much already a done deal. And that's what a lot of people don't be realizing. Like, a lot of people be like, man, the season over and these kids already didn't hit the portal. Yeah, man, these kids already hit the portal because they already knew what time it was. I didn't have to give you that white envelope, stick it in your locker. Hey, listen, the assistant coach already told you what it is. So, hey, move on. It's time to move around. So you better have a plan. You better have, and that's why I always tell kids, never burn relationship with coaches because you never know where that coach going to end up at. You will turn down a coach at a lower level, and that coach end up being at a higher level than where you at, and you're going to try to build that relationship right and try to build that relationship, and they're going to move on from it. They don't want to deal with you because they already know what you're about. So, hey, be thankful for whatever coaches recruit you. Even if you decide that you're not going to keep it in a respectful PR manner and say, hey, coach, I thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm going to decide to go in a different direction with this school for these reasons and just leave it at that. You ain't really got to break down your reasons, but just be respectful about it because you don't know. Your coach might be gone in a year. Your coach might be out sick and you might not, you know what I'm saying? There's so many things. The coaches move so much that a lot of kids don't think about those things. And another thing that it kills me that I hate the most is when people try to play other coaches, like coaches don't talk to each other.
Oh no, coaches keep in touch way more than I think the public realize. Like I know. Well, I hope players realize like coaches talk.
They don't.
Like even when you call a coach, to me, from what I understand, even if I'm like, yo, coach, I'm interested, and coach is like, yo, I'm interested too. Maybe this might be a good spot for you to transfer. They still finna holler at your old coach to see like how was she in practice, what was her work ethic like. There's usually a conversation that happens between coaches before that final transfer portal action takes place. For the most part, I thought
Like,
so.
you know the biggest thing that people not so naive to is that a lot of these kids and parents put out that they got all these offers that they don't got from these schools. You know, if you say you put out an offer from a school that you know that if somebody's really trying to recruit you, right, you know that they know somebody in that staff and they're going to call and see if you really got a true offer from that school, right? Then here's the second thing. Who's giving you the offer? If the head coach ain't gave you the offer, it ain't an offer. That's what I tell everybody. I don't give a damn what assistant coach tell you about an offer. It ain't an offer until the head coach give you an official offer. You can go out here if you want to.
Let's talk. Whoa. Let me ask something about. Okay, so let me understand. So LSU, my man that I'm watching on LSU, he always got his he always got a designer something on. Okay, it's always in big letters. You know my man's right.
Yeah, you know, yeah.
If he give you an offer, it's not real.
It ain't real until Coach Kim signed off on it.
Okay, so it's a sign piece
of paperwork
to happen.
Yeah, it sounds good. It look good because you got to think about it like this. You think as a head coach, I'm making $5 million and I'm finna sign a $5 million to check for let you get me fired? Oh, nah, that ain't finna happen. I'm not finna let you write my check to get me fired. Nah, we ain't finna do that one. So, yeah, you might like that player, and you might want you can listen. You can tell a kid you gonna offer them every single day. You got to offer. But if the head coach ain't watching no film, or you ain't had no phone call with the head coach, or you ain't pull up to the office and talk to the head coach one-on-one to find out what it really is, it ain't no offer.
Okay.
And that's why you see a lot of kids put out fake narratives, or families put out fake narratives saying they got all these offers, and it's just like there's levels to offers. Especially on the football side, but that's a whole different other story in Ram, how they do that over there, the games over there. But when it comes to basketball, there's levels to offers, right? And that's what I'll be wanting people to educate people on. It's like, yes, there are certain coaches that do a lot of the work, the groundwork, behind the scenes stuff. But then there's also, you still got to talk to the head person to sign off on it. And if the head person don't sign off on it, it is what it is. But when you talk about Kim, her staff is in two different directions anyway, because who he want may not be who Kim want, and vice versa. And so now you got to come to an agreement of like, man, if we take this kid, boom, is this gonna happen? And so you kind of know which assistant coaches rooting for which kid, because that's the kid they vouch for in the meeting. They try to get everybody to sign off on.
Okay. All right. Do you guys think Olivia is leaving for the money or to be a number one on the squad?
I still listen. I seen USA put this out. Hold up, wait a minute. Hold on, sis. All right, says Jada Williams committed to Iowa State. Did you hear me?
Jada, Iowa State. So Jada coming to help. Audie.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. RDMM Media breaking news.
Yeah. Jada Williams to Iowa State.
I need some kind of breaking news. We need a breaking news sound. Hold on, I got some breaking news or something in here. What in the heck is going on, man?
Yeah, she went.
Breaking news, Jada. Iowa State, you heard it here first. RDMM Media breaking news over here. Let's go.
Yeah, so she went on a visit first to Iowa, and then the second visit to Iowa State. Iowa State said, "Oh, you ain't leaving about this door till you commit." So, hey, they got it done. First, that's a big name that didn't drop. So now Jada Williams to Iowa State, which I think is. Hey, listen, she gonna get her shots off. I can tell you that. She finna get some shots off of Iowa State.
Now, will her running mate come with her to give Audie some support?
I see that part. Right. See, with her going to Iowa State, now it looks weird now, because I don't think you can take a Bree. I don't think you can take Bree there. Bree Cunningham.
Why not?
You could, don't get me wrong, because the more bigs, the more married. You know what I'm saying? The more you can do. You know what I'm saying? But being in that's why I said, like, when the Big 12 is wide open for anybody to take. But I think she stayed in the Big 12 just because she wanted just to smoke Arizona, just to show them something. I think that's the only reason why she stayed in the Big 12, is just to smoke Arizona, just to show them, hey, listen, y'all thought I was, you know what I'm saying? I ain't have it. I'm finna come show y'all. When I come to Arizona, I'm gonna try to put 30 on y'all.
Will Audie be okay with a faster pace with Jada?
I don't think they're gonna play a faster pace. I just think they're gonna tweak their offense.
Okay.
I,
Still
that's
thinking.
I don't think they're gonna play any more faster. It's just you can't. The only way you can play faster with Audie Cooks is Audie Cooks has to drop about 15, 20 pounds. But in reality, I truly believe that they're gonna just change their offense.
So you'll have Jada, Addie, Audie. That'll be your three there.
Yeah, I think they need a bona fide shooter. That's what they missing. If you get a bona fide shooter next to Jada, I think you working with something. I think it ain't gonna win them a championship, but you working with something. You know you're gonna win 25 games. You can book 25 games down. Do these players get guaranteed playing minutes? Ain't nothing guaranteed, no matter where you go. Now, it's some negotiation tactics that happens, right? And so now the reason why a lot of these kids are transferring like a Jada Williams is because you got to get the bag now before the revenue share kicks in. So she front load her NIL money is what she's doing. So whatever money that she missed out on from Arizona, whatever they had to pay her, if they didn't pay, or if they paid everything, she's got a whole new bag to go to Iowa State. And Iowa State had to pay the money because they need help. What you gonna tell them? Only person getting the bag on there is Audie. So shit, you tell me I ain't got no more money left? Oh, you definitely got some money left. And a couple of y'all kids just transferred. Y'all had 3 transfer out. Oh yeah, the bag definitely there. So ain't the minutes ain't guaranteed, but she probably got a guarantee from them.
When you say front load the bag, I want to understand something here about the bag real quick. And this not we're not gonna turn into an NIL show, but front loading the bag, is that like from football where like you got guaranteed money up front where they give you so much money up front, or are they getting a bag split up over the 4 years that they at a school?
No, so front loading means that all right, say I'm gonna pay you $100,000, right? Well, I'm gonna give you 40,000 your first year. Your second year, you gonna get 25. And so that's 65. No, hold on. Your first year, you're gonna get 45. Your second year, you're gonna get 25. Your third year, you're getting 15. So majority of your money is coming on the front end because they know you more than likely ain't gonna stay there the 3 years. So the nature of why they front load contracts, especially like if you're talking football right now, the reason why they front load contracts is because more than like they're hoping that you're let me tell you, not football. I'm gonna take this to the men's side. So on the men's side, you see this big and on the men's side when it comes to NIL deals of them front loaded contracts because their goal is not to have you in college for 3 years. Their goal is to get you out of college within the first 2 years. So your first 2 years, you might make the most money that you're gonna make in NIL money. That third year and that fourth year, you're not gonna be making no money. So you have to transfer. And so on the women's side, what you're seeing is similar to that effect, but the women have to stay in college for the 4 years. And so with revenue sharing coming in, it's downgrading how much money you can make in NIL. So if you got any NIL money that you're trying to get right now, the contract's gonna be front loaded to, hey, you're gonna make X amount of dollars this first year. When you get to next year, that's gonna either be cut in half or cut in thirds. Like what you make now, you're gonna get a third of that next year. So that's the front loading of the contract of the NIL. It sucks, but that's just how people doing it. What they trying to do is they trying to get as much money to the player up front for them to sign, but then on the back end, you ain't making nothing. And so the whole goal is we get what we trying to get out of you within that first 2 years. Say we know we got a championship team, we putting the pressure on you to deliver the goods. And if you don't deliver the goods, we need you out of here so we can get somebody else in.
So can they do their NIL deal kind of like What you see in the pros with incentives, or is it kind of like your dollar amount is your dollar amount?
I mean, you negotiate your dollar amount at the end of the day. Now, revenue share, you don't negotiate. That's on the school. The school negotiates how much everybody get, because the women's basketball program probably gonna get $1 million, and so you got to split $1 million into 15 players. Who out of that 15 players, who gets the most, or they couldn't even, right? The school gonna control who get the most money there. So it's NILs. You control how much, what your contract look like, but a lot of people try to front load the contract, especially if they know, especially like say if I'm a big time player, does it really truly make sense to go to a mediocre team and be the star player? And why I'm saying this is, you could cost yourself more money going to a mediocre team than going to a team that has a brand, and you being a face of the brand, and you getting more X amount of dollars, right? So say you pick a Mizzou, right, over a LSU. Well, I can go to LSU and I can get $5 million, but if I go to Missouri and be the star player, I might get half of that. I might get 2.5, but I'm getting all the shots I want. I'm getting to do whatever I want, but I might just get 2.5 instead of getting the 5 that I would have got from LSU just because of the brand. So it's really truly up to you. But you go to a place like Mizzou, they might backload your deal where like, hey, we gonna give you this signing bonus for this, but then as more years that you stay, we double and triple up your money. So it can go vice versa. It's all about what you do and your agent, right? Because majority of them got agents. If you got NIL deal, you better have an agent, or you better know somebody that knows something about financing and looking at a contract and what that looks like.
Okay, I got one more question. I want to make sure that I understand everything, right? So there's NIL.
Yes.
There's revenue sharing.
Yes.
There's the co-op money, right? Or whatever.
That's going away.
Yeah. Okay, that's gonna go away. So revenue sharing is gonna replace the co-op money, kind of, right?
Correct. So right now, the way it is, right now it's currently constructed is NIL, right? Name, image, likeness. That's one thing. And then there's collectives, right? The money they collected, all the donators and the boosters, right? That's what they give, right? That's what they put into that pool. Well, now all of that is gonna get, is NIL still gonna be NIL, but now the school controls the collective piece.
The collective.
So now
the collective is the right term. Thank you.
You gotta donate all that. You gotta donate the money to the school, which the school has a limit.
Where does the scholarship fit in there though?
The scholarship's out the window. That's been out the window. That don't even factor no more.
So when they say, okay, a school's gonna be able to carry 15 scholarships, basically it's just saying that they could carry 15 players.
Right, but here's what they did. Everybody has to be on scholarship if they want to receive a piece of revenue sharing. That's how you manage. That's the only way you can manage how much money everybody gets. So you have to be on scholarship.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, everybody should walk away with no debt around their education.
They should, because at the minimum, right? At the minimum, the 15th, like the girl that's on the 15th. The 15 man on a P4 roster should have a minimum of 50,000.
Yeah, and I'm only talking P4. I don't want to get into mid majors and all that.
I'm just at the P4. I'm just talking P4, Power 4, and
I want to make sure the chat fam know that that's what I'm talking about. Like, I'm not talking HBCU, none of that stuff. I'm talking like P4. You go there, you should walk away with no debt around your education.
Yeah, the minimum you're gonna be making is 50,000 for if you're the 15 player on the bench, you're gonna be making 50,000 a year.
On top of your education, right? Like, you don't gotta pay for your school out of that, right?
Right, because you have to be on scholarship. You can't even get a piece of revenue sharing if you're not on scholarship. And they even did that in football. Everybody has to be on scholarship because you used to get it was 85 for a P4, and then you can carry all these walk-ons. Everybody, and they boosted up the scholarships in every sport. So every sport got a boost in. So baseball got the biggest boost when it comes to collegiate players, as far as everything goes, as far as revenue sharing, all that stuff. But depending on your school,
really? Okay.
Listen, baseball only had 11.75 on scholarship. They only had 11. So you had to split 30 players into 11.75 of scholarships. Now they got 22. Now they got 22
Okay.
scholarships. So
Got
now
you.
they doubled. So now when everybody had to be on scholarship, that's basically, you know what I'm saying, there's 9 people out there, nine people on your bench, that's 18. They give you 3 + 3, right? So now it makes it where everybody's on scholarship. They're
Even.
not like baseball players are the ones who really paying for school more than any sport out there, to be honest with you. But what they did with baseball players was they just put them on other teams, like on the football team, on the track team that didn't have use that they didn't have scholarships used, and all you had to do is run one event or play one event, and then you good. So that's how people got around it, because it's always gonna be a gray area, right? Like in
And
football,
that's
you have
why I'm asking the question because of political ill. I heard that
yeah.
some of these kids was taking loans from the collectives, and I'm like, why would you take a loan when it's NIL out there? Like, you should be able to get
So you want
somebody to
me?
pay you for your NIL. What do you need a loan for?
You all right? So
Yeah,
you want me to
that's
break that
why I was
down to
asking the
you?
question. Thank you, Lil.
You want me to break that down to you? Why? All
Yeah,
right.
why would you take a loan
All
out for
right, let's get in that bag. Hey, this what I'm here for. All right, so check this out, right? I sign you out of high school. I give you 100,000.
Got
Right?
it.
You on Scally. You already get a stipend. You get your place paid for because you stay off campus. All that's taken care of. So
Okay.
what do you really need money for?
Kid, whatever whatever they doing in their day to day, and they
Now,
probably taking care of people back home.
all right. So here's what happens, right? So I gave you this 100,000. I didn't already pay for your schooling. I paid for your housing, and I gave you stipend money. You know what I'm saying? You get a little cooler, you know what I'm saying, 2K a month, right? 2.5, whatever that look like, right? That takes care of all your bills, your cell phone bills, and all that the stuff that you do on a day-to-day
Okay,
basis.
so
All
then
that
they
stuff
bought
is
it.
there.
They bought a car. They bought a car.
That car coming out that 100,000, right? And honestly, the car ain't even bought. The car is loaned, because you know if you leave that school, you gotta get that car back. So it ain't even bought.
What?
Yeah,
You giving the car
yeah,
back? You giving the
yeah.
car back?
Yeah, if
What?
you leave that school, you don't keep that. You gotta return that. That's a loaner. Yeah,
I'm over here sounding like that's a company car. That coat
look,
you got on, that's a company coat. We need all that back.
I
What?
listen. All right, so listen. What
Oh,
what
I wish
the,
y'all could see my I wish y'all could see my face right now.
what the dealerships do
Okay.
is they like, yeah, we gonna work with the university. We gonna let these kids take these cars, right? If you leave, you transfer, you got to get that car back, because the next school gonna give you one. We ain't finna let you. We ain't let you can't run off with the bag and run off with my car. Oh no, you gotta return my car. You say you out there, that key car start working. Hey, that car needs to be back ASAP. Yeah,
Come on, wait. Okay, so it's a local dealership that's giving the car as part of the package. I got you. Okay, so when they
that's
get to
part
their
of.
next destination.
Listen, the part of
All right, okay.
negotiations is.
But
Listen, if you
they ain't had to spend 800,000 yet though. So
no,
you
listen,
said
just listen. I'm
they
gonna get
eat.
to you. I'm gonna get
Oh
to
man,
it. So just all right. So listen, peep game. If you a 5-star player, right? Guess what you asking for? You asking for 2 cars, car for you, car for your parents. You asking for a
okay,
house for your parents, and you asking for your own crib, right?
okay,
So bam, people if your parents, if they smart, right, they might want to keep their house where they at. So where that hundred
right.
thousand going, right? So you got to break that in half. So half of that is they got to make sure that the house taking care of somebody watching the house, somebody staying in that house. Then auntie, uncle calling for money. So you didn't blew through that 100,000 in the first three to 4 months. So
Okay.
now what do? You ain't got no money because everybody calling you.
Then you got, but okay, wait. I'm NIL. Ain't it supposed to be as simple as me being able to sign some jerseys and take some pictures and sell my
It ain't
likeness?
it ain't that simple.
Okay, talk to
First
me.
of all, you gotta have an agent, right? That can
Okay,
set all that stuff
right,
up for you.
right.
If you gotta have a market, right? NIL's name, image, likeness. If you don't
Yeah,
got a market, who paying for it?
man.
Think, think,
If you got to a P4, you ain't got no followers on social media. What are you doing?
But peep game though, if you go in your freshman year and you don't live up to the hype and you sit on the bench, who coming for that?
Man, listen,
You got
you can't be no bust now. You can't be no bust.
But think logically what I said. I said within the first 3 to 6 months. So that means that you're already on campus when you got this money. So yeah, you might be popping and you get this money when you first get to campus. But when them games start rolling around and you ain't playing, what you gonna do then? That's why really a lot of these kids get into the portal. Because they got all this money, they create all these bills. Now they can't pay them, right? Because you gotta pay the juryman for the jury that you got up fronted. You got your car that you know what I'm saying that you driving around. You got your fathers that back home.
Don't tell me the custom jury going back. Don't tell me the custom jury going back.
You got I listen. You got the I don't let you come from the streets because you know what I'm saying. The dope dealers they might need you to you know what I'm saying kick them something. You know what I'm saying. So it's a lot of things going on. You know. So that's going on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't be thinking about. It's like soon as somebody find out you got some money, what they doing? They calling you right. The more money, no more problems, right? That's what's happening with these kids. Like the parents or somebody in the family marketing their kids to try to get the most money they can. You don't even know how much financial debt some of these parents are in before they can't even get there. So you gotta think about that. Just say your parents in a 75K worth of debt before you even get to college, and they just gave you 100. That whole 75 finna go to your parents. So you got 25. Okay. And by the way, Poor from LSU just went to the portal. I just told you something's gonna happen, but here we go. I'm breaking it down.
Who went?
Poor. This lawsuit.
Hold on, man. Hold on. In the portal?
In the portal. Miss Lawsuit. She in the portal.
Keep breaking news. Remember where you heard it? Woo!
Well, yeah, we back too. We back in work though. But yeah, so depending on if your parents got debt before you go to college, they might be trying to, you know what I'm saying? They trying to get their head above water. So
okay, I got another question. Wait, I'm sorry. You're killing me right now, Rob. So, because I'm hearing stuff like kids is asking for 1.5, right?
Yeah.
But then they only really getting 100,000.
I listen.
Or is that 1.5? Is that 1.5 like the house, the car? Like, talk to me about that. Are these kids really getting 1.5, 2 million, 5 million?
Let me just say this.
What are the possibilities?
It's not because you can ask 1.5. Don't mean I got to give it to you.
Okay. Are there kids out there? Are there top level kids that's getting 1.5?
Yeah. But I would say that
on the women's basketball side, because I hear like they say a wide receiver might cost 500,000, 600,000. A quarterback might cost 2 million. So I'm hearing numbers like that on the football side in women's hoops.
I mean, on the women's side, the people that's getting it's only a handful of girls that's getting 1.5.
Sure,
and you got to have a name behind you. You got to really have a strong brand behind you. Outside of that, you ain't getting 1.5. Because you can ask me for 1.5 all you want to, but if you come in here and you ain't doing what you're supposed to do, and you doing the freshman stuff, the freshman BS, you ain't getting that 1.5. You be happy if you get 500,000 of that.
Okay, all right.
Because this is what happens, and this is why you see like some schools on the men's side in lawsuits, especially like Florida State, and why their head coach pretty much had to resign because he promised them, I'm gonna give you $1 million, and then you come out here and I ain't winning games. You ain't getting that money. I'm keeping that money. And that's why you see some of these players having lawsuits with the school. And so that's why the schools have to take over because the school was getting the money and the head coach was getting the money, but that don't mean you're gonna get the money if you ain't performing. You add me for this, but you ain't delivering on that. You ain't going to class. Like, you got to think about all the factors, right? A basketball player is going to stay in school longer than a football player, right? On the women's side, right?
For sure.
You have to go to class. So if you're not going to class, and your grades ain't no 3.0 or anything like that, man, what I'm paying you for? Because what you bringing me on the court? You already tell me that you're not trustworthy, right? So if I give you this money, what's gonna happen? You're gonna go blow this money. And the minute you gonna blow this money and you create some bills and you can't pay them, guess what you finna have to do? One or two things. You have to finna come in my office and face the fact that you gotta ask me for some more money, and I'm finna ask you, hey, what did you just do with that $500,000 I gave you up front? You gonna say, Coach, my mom, my auntie, my grandma, this, that, and the third came up, all these emergencies came up, I had to do this, right? Okay, cool. Did you perform in the season? No. Okay, so what? So I'm not gonna give you no more money. So guess what? You gotta hit the portal.
Coach, so I got you next season, Coach.
It don't matter.
This summer, I'm working this summer, Coach. Coach.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
Shake my hand.
Shake my hand. Listen. The best advice you can give is you better get popping on your social media. You better do something.
I mean, listen. Don straight up said if the kid tell her it's about the money, she tell him to go get the bag and put it up, compound it, save it. Make sure you making it grow for you. So I mean, it definitely is. I understand that it's a choice, but I don't think that people realize that it's so much other stuff that goes into it. Like I said, I thought I need a couple dollars, man. I'm finna set up a table, bring your jersey. $10. I'm signing jerseys, I'm signing pictures. But and then the agent got to get paid. I guess the agent does the agent get paid from the school or from no? Because you get your own agent. You don't have because I seen Deja and Raven even have like the same agent. So you got to pay your agent too, right?
I mean that's part of your agent job. So here's how the agent got off in this whole situation, and it's kind of why it's been put back on the school, and they trying to get away from NIL. Is because when you talk about agents, some of these agents taking 30% out, right? 30% of the money. So just think about it. You get a cool meal.
100,000 is at 70. Is that what you're saying?
Bro, just think 30%. You get 30. Like if you get 100,000, your agent already get 30% of that. So that's 300 already.
You saying I'm starting out at 70,000. Wait a minute, Coach.
Off the dribble.
Wait a minute. What have you done for me first, though? Hold on, agent.
I just got you that. Listen, you got to peep game though. This is why I got you to where you got to. If it weren't for me and my relationship with this coach, you wouldn't have been there.
At this school?
Yeah, that's how they get them.
Hold on, coach. So then, what did my AAU team do for me and all that money I spent to travel?
All right, so check this.
That ain't helped me get to the school.
All right, so look, let me.
High school national championship ain't helping me, Coach. Hold on, Coach. I wish y'all could see my face. Come on, Coach. What?
Hey, listen. Let me go ahead and peel back this onion because this is why this all started, right? Your AAU coach used to be the one who was your agent. And that's how, you know what I'm saying, them brown paper bags and the white envelopes, you come to pay us on the sideline so a kid can go to this school. It didn't matter to me because you could never get me to tell a kid to go to this school or that school because of you. Man, you better step your game up and know how to talk. That's how I would tell a coach. Don't ever put no decision on me to tell a kid to go because of something you want. It ain't going to happen. But that's why AAU started getting so popular. That's how Shoe Brand started getting so popular because now you have certain AAU programs linked to certain colleges. And so if you played on that team, you were linked to certain colleges. You automatically went to those colleges because those head coaches were getting paid from the university or getting paid from the shoe companies for those kids. So when the whole FBI investigation went on the men's side, that's what made this whole thing of NIL come into play. That's how NIL started. So then guess what? Now you got to deal with agents. So now your head coach or your AAU team can't be your agent no more. Now you got to get a real agent that's licensed in it. That's licensed in whatever state you're going to, they got to be licensed in that state. So now that's why you got all these agents. Well, guess what? Would you rather have your head coach or your AU program who ain't finna take that 30% he gonna get a cut, you gonna get your cut, or would you rather have this agent where no matter everything that you do, they get 30% off? So whatever deal they get you, or whatever school they get you to, they get 30% of that. That's what's going on right now. And that's why you're seeing a lot of kids transfer, because they're getting advice from their agents to say, hey, listen, I got a count, because now you got to pay a count that's watching your money, that's saying your money getting low. So we got to re up and go get something else. So now that's another 5% coming out, right? Because you got to pay your accountant, right, to watch the money flow. So you know what I'm saying? So now you better hope that you get an agent that's only taking 10 to 15, but some of them, they doing bad bidding, they getting 30, and these people, quote unquote, parents or legal guardians are not looking at the contract they're signing with these agents. And so that's why, because the agent be like, listen, if you sign with me, I can get you to XYZ school. I know what they're going to give you based off my face card. So my face card can get you 200, 300, 400, 500,000. Cool, I get 30% of that. Because what it was before NIL was the agents was the one who was fronting these players money, and the shoe company was fronting these players money. And then when you made it to the league, you just paid them back. Well, now it ain't that no more. Now the agents can get their money up front, so they're not losing no money at all.
Oh man, sound like a cold cycle. It sound like a cold cycle if you're not ready for this. If you're not ready for this, if you're not built for this. And then my other question is, so do you need AAU, or do you need to just be good and have a great agent?
Well, you need AAU because you the exposure piece, because if you're trying to go to a P4 school, they want to see you play against
They
competition.
still want to see you on that stage. Got it.
Not saying.
AAU
Now,
still.
I'll say this: it's not as hard as you think it is not to play AAU and go. Where you just train, work on your stuff, do this, do that in the summertime and really get better. But that means you have to play against somebody during the season. Like your team has to play against somebody in the season that you play against high level competition to get seen. So if you don't play against AAU, you're gonna have to go to a high school or to a prep school that can showcase you for the reason why you don't go play AAU.
The prep school. So the prep school ain't got an agent for you?
They're their own agent. That's what the prep school is for. They're their own agent. Their main goal is to help you get to somewhere, right?
So somebody eating at every level. Somebody eating at every level.
Yeah.
You telling me somebody eating at every level, coach? Yeah. It ain't nobody just here to just for the good of the help to get them to where they.
How do you think Montvert? How do you think IMG? That's how they operate. They literally operate off of, we're gonna get you to Division I so we can get the next kid to go to a Division I. And y'all supposed to quote unquote pay this tuition, but these colleges are paying y'all tuition to be here. So let's make it happen. Come on.
Okay, so I got another. So we peeling this onion back. I'm throwing stuff at you now. So I'm a parent.
All right, let me answer AB's question. Right?
Yeah, go ahead.
AAU is not a money grab as well. The players that's paying for it are the average to below average players. That's who's paying for AAU, not the top end players. Top end players do not pay not 1 cent for AAU because somebody is paying for them to be there. So I just want to throw that out there when you talk about AAU and how things work and how things translate. Top of the line players do not pay for AAU whatsoever. Like the travel gets taken care of, hotels get taken care of, the family gets taken care of, the head coach gets taken care of. Like those things happen. I'm an AAU coach, so I can tell you this: I don't pay for no type of traveling. I don't pay for no hotel. I just show up. I show up to practice. I show up to games. That's what I do. So I'm telling you how this works because I know how it works on that part.
Got it. Okay, now I'm a parent. I got a player that's good, did good in high school, didn't really have the money really to do AAU, right? But solid, right? Could be something. I got JUCO in my state. It's free for the first 2 years. Is that a viable way to get to a P4 for a kid that's pretty good but couldn't do AAU? Like, I'm looking for alternatives. I'm looking for the alternatives.
So
I see the JUCO keep you with some eligibility. It could be a little bit easier on the pocket. If I pick the right one in my state, can I still go?
it depends on the how serious are you about your sport, right? You talking about basketball? How serious are you about the sport? I mean, JUCO could be a great route for some people, right? Because one thing, if you go to a JUCO, you gotta be hungry because you like the end goal is to be there a year and out, right? You don't have to go to a JUCO and get a degree to go to a 4-year college no more. You can literally go there for a year, especially if you qualify. If you qualify out of high school to go to a P4, you can go JUCO, and as long as the NCAA keeps his ruling where JUCO doesn't hurt your eligibility, and you can still maintain all 4 years, if you transfer up, you're in a win-win situation. Why not go JUCO? Then you dumb going to a P4 to go sit on the bench and not develop
Well,
versus going to a JUCO, get your minutes. You might develop, you might play with some better players, and then go to a P4 and then get your bag.
well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. This is why I'm asking you. I don't think enough people think about JUCO as an opportunity. I think if people look at, for example, Sakima. They look at Sakima and they like, she came from a JUCO school, but she
Well,
won a national championship at JUCO. She's a JUCO National Player of the Year. Like she won at that level. That matters. And people
now,
look at it, but like, yeah, that's JUCO.
well, sis,
Uh,
I would say this. It also depends on what JUCO you go to. Because
it
there is
sure
some
does.
power. There is some powerhouse JUCOs that year in, year out, they develop kids to Division 1 level. I'm talking about high P4 level, right? If you get around some
Absolutely.
good experience like that, yes, it makes sense. But if you go into a bottom level that you don't know if the school gonna stay open type of JUCO, yeah, it might not make sense.
Oh yeah, no. She went
And
to
so,
JUCO and won. She went to JUCO and won the
no, no,
NJCAA. You know what I'm saying?
listen,
So, but
I
I
know
know what
what
you're
it
saying.
is.
You can't go to
Yeah,
you, and it also depends on the different reasons that you go. Like
yeah.
I think Kima was pretty developed. She went to get back in love with basketball. I think it was a little bit different why she ended up there. But I'm just saying that there are JUCOs out there that are opportunities for kids that they can still end up not owing any money. My thing about being a D1 player is that
Well,
as a D1 player, you should be able to walk away without owing nobody nothing for your education. And so,
but
look, being able to look at these options. Go ahead. I'm sorry. What you was going to
no,
say?
I was gonna say, so JUCO has changed their rules since I've been, since I've been out of college. They actually have more financial money. So you going to an out of state JUCO might actually benefit you because depending on the league that the JUCO plays in and what JUCO you're going to, that changes a lot of things. So that's what I would say to anybody. Like if I had to give out some advice to a young up and coming basketball player, first of all, know that it's levels to this. What is your level, right? And I know a lot of people don't know who are you being recruited by is your level. It's just what it is. If you're getting recruited by NAI school is your level. If you're getting recruited by Division 2 schools, Division 2 is your level until you prove somebody else wrong. So
So,
the
can
problem
you
that
also
I
make it
see,
clear? Oh,
here's
go ahead.
the problem that I see. A lot of people turn down Division 2 schools when a lot of these Division 2 schools can go smoke. A lot of these Division 1 schools, they
You
just
see
don't
it.
play them a lot.
You see it. And then these Division 2 schools become Division 1 schools. Who was that just played at the beginning of the
Yeah,
tournament this year? It was just
San Diego.
yeah, it was just D1, D2, D1 now. So these programs grow, but at what level is NIL? At what level is it? Can a kid have NIL? And when I'm asking that, like, can they have NIL in high school? Can they have it at a JUCO? Is it just at the P4s, at HBCUs? And I'm talking NIL. I'm not talking collective. I'm not talking revenue sharing. I'm talking NIL.
Well, depends on the state that you live in. Because in some states, high school NIL is approved, in some states it's not. So
Thank
depending
you.
on what state you live in, depends on if there's an agreement to NIL for you to get money. In the state of Missouri, the state of Georgia, the state of Florida, the state of Texas, the state of California, Michigan, those states are approved for NIL money. So depending on the state for high school kids. So if you get it in high school NIL money, just imagine what you finna get in college, right?
Right.
So if you're in one of those states where it's an approved NIL money, then financially you should be in a better state by the time your kid get to college. So you probably won't have those bills. The people that you see a lot of times transferring because of the money is because whoever they associate with or whatever they background they come from is doesn't have the financial, and they're in some debt and they're trying to get out of it. So it starts in high school now.
Okay. Okay. There are some levels out there at where you can play in high school. So
Yeah.
I mean where you can have NIL in high school. So these are some of the things that I want folks to know that I don't know is just regular is just general knowledge out there if you don't really go looking for it. That like some of these kids getting money in high school, some of these different states. So they coming in at different levels. They coming in with bags now. And people were laughing, but some of these kids are showing up with bigger bags than the coaches. Some of these they showing up with bigger bags than the assistant coaches.
And
So
that's where the disconnect be a lot of times. So y'all be wondering why kids sit on the bench. Is because the kid feel like, man, I make more money than you. What the hell you gonna tell me?
yeah, and what they don't understand is I'm trying to give you the skill set to keep getting a bigger bag than me. I know you here getting a bigger bag than me, but
No,
I'm okay with the bag I'm getting.
but
I'm
here's
trying
the
to help
thing
you get.
though.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing what you don't realize. There's a lot of these assistant coaches that are upset that this knucklehead kid making more money than me, and they still wet behind her smell like Similac.
Hey man, we'll get back in school or something. I don't know. Do you got eligibility left? Like, you can't be mad at where kids are today. And that's my thing. If that's who you are, then you're probably in the wrong business. You
But
can't be jealous of these kids, man.
but
That,
says
that makes no sense to me though.
here's what I'm gonna tell you though. This is what you gotta realize. Say I'm an assistant coach and I didn't recruit you, and I wanted another kid that I know that's a better character kid than you, and we
Hmm.
signed off on you, and I got to deal with you. It's gonna be some friction, and that's what a lot of people. A lot of time when there's friction with assistant coach and a player is because that assistant coach didn't recruit that player there. That's the main reason why.
Yeah, but okay. Here's the thing. Okay. Here's the thing, though. Part of the whole thing. Okay, if I'm understanding how this thing is supposed to work correctly, right? And maybe this is just perfect world type thing, but I'm an assistant coach because I want to see you win, right? Okay, so the energy that I got with the kid got to be different. I'm here to see you do better. I'm here to see you do better than me. Teachers is if I'm teaching you, it's because I want to see you do better than the teacher's salary, right? Like
Yeah,
I don't
I
know where
mean,
that. I don't.
that's the end all goal, but it's like you don't you just don't know what these like. Some of these kids come in, they want to fight the coach because they trying to discipline them and things like that. And so a lot of this is because of the money, and these kids and these people are not doing their research, right? Like political, you're 100% right. Like they need to do a parent education program. The problem with that is it be people like me that be wanting to give out the knowledge for free to you, but people don't tune in. People don't show up.
They tuning in. They
They do
tuning in.
everything else. They do
It's
everything
the
else.
hashtag tune in.
You know what I'm
Here's
saying?
the
And
thing.
so when you say, "Hey, this needs to happen," it's people that's out here that want to give you the knowledge, that want to tell you, that deal with it on an everyday basis, but people don't want to. They don't want to show up and listen. So you
Here's
can't
my
make somebody
frustration.
listen. I'm just
Here-
saying
here-
the
Here's
information's
my
out here.
frustration. Yes, the information is out here. Let's make that clear. But I want to go back real quick to what you said about the assistant coach saying, I didn't get the kid that I wanted, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna treat you how I want to treat you, right? So the coach's job too is also to prepare you for off the court behavior, right? I could be
yeah.
at work. I could be at work. I could recommend one of my people for the job. You don't go with who I want for the job. I still got to work with who you bring in here. This is just real life experience. This is real life lessons that you got to be able to teach young people. And so that's what I'm talking about, mindset of some of these assistant coaches and other coaches when they out here with like where they putting the focus at.
I
Where,
but
where,
says
where,
you.
where they
But
putting the
here's
focus
the
at?
thing though. Says when you hired me, you told me I was gonna be able to recruit, I was gonna be able to do this, I was gonna be able to do that. And when I got here as a head coach, you stripped those away from me. You asked me to come here and do all this, and then you stripped me from that power. So now when I want to go hold this kid accountable for what I need them to do, now it's an issue.
See, but here's my thing. Okay. It's an issue because I want to hold this kid accountable.
But
here's the other thing,
though. Here's the last piece to it, right?
Oh yeah, come on.
When before they fire head coach, what are they gonna tell that coach to do? Get rid of your assistants, right? And so the assistants that they end up getting rid of is the ones that ain't on the same connection, which they were never on the same connection from you from the get-go because you stripped the powers away from them. And so the major part of this issue is it really don't really truly be about the money. It truly be about the character of not just the kid, right? Because a lot of times it's easy to put it on the kid. What you don't know is
let's go.
The mama, the daddy, the auntie, the grandma that's calling their assistant coach every day complaining about why my kid ain't playing.
Okay.
And those are the things that people don't even know that happen. And it happens a lot. And it's like, damn, bro, I'm not about to deal with this. I'm not about to deal with this. Like, it's let alone I gotta deal with this person that practice, not putting the effort, not working hard, not doing what they gotta do. And then you got your parents calling me like this high school? This ain't high school. Click.
Okay.
It's and so the head coach ain't taking them phone calls. The assistant coach is taking them phone calls. Unless you the star player, that's the only way you get into a head coach. And majority of the time, you don't even see the head coach in a lot of these programs. You see that you're around assistant coaches. All the time you see the head coach is when you at practice. Once practice over with, the coach gone because they doing their obligations. However, they making their money. So majority of the time in programs, you don't see the head coach. So it's always following the assistant coach because that's who you're around the most.
Okay, so flip side of that, with this assistant coach who didn't get the kid that they wanted, is now taking it out on the kid that they got because they didn't want that kid. That's your energy is misplaced. Your issue should be with the coach because the coach stripped you of the power. So now I got an issue with you taking it out on the kid. That's mindset for me. That's mindset for assistant coaches.
See,
how do you get that out of it?
I don't because I understand the business of what's happening right now. That's why.
Okay, so help me understand why. I'm not saying on the kid.
No. I'm not saying it's okay. But if I go to practice and I say, hey, I need you to do X, Y, Z, and you don't do X, Y, Z, and one, I didn't taught you, I didn't took you through the drill, gave you the right instructions, and showed you and guided you how to do it, and you refusing to do it, there's got to be some type of discipline.
That's a total character issue. That's different than I just don't like you because you're not the kid that I recruited.
Right, but that comes to a part of it is in the recruiting process, right? You're supposed to, like, as that coach that's recruiting you, you're supposed to find out what are the character flaws of this kid. And if they don't check all the boxes that you're supposed to check, it is what it is.
So
I'm gonna explain to you. Just wait. I'm gonna get it all to you. The reason why that kid end up at that school is because the boosters want that kid there. And you have to listen to whatever the boosters tell you. And that's why you see a lot of friction between assistant coaches and players because of the boosters causing a problem because you say, hey, I don't want this kid. The boosters say, I don't give a damn about what you don't want. This kid is talented. This kid is ranked here. We need this kid. You got to play him.
I think where my disconnect is that I'm thinking about the kid from the standpoint of they don't necessarily have to be a character flaw just because they weren't the kid. They don't necessarily have to have character flaws just because they weren't the kid that you wanted, right? So I'm thinking that some of these kids may be like, hey, give him a chance. It's a good kid. You just didn't get to know him. That's my thinking when I say that. But I see what you said. These are the kids that are, I didn't want you because you were a character flaw. And if the head coach or the boosters that really did their work, then they would know that yes, you can do all of these things, but you're a freaking headache to deal with. So I get that part. If you're a headache, you're a headache, regardless of. I get you on that part.
I'm gonna take it back to what Don said. Right, you listen to what Don said. Right, if you're talking about the money, don't come here because we ain't about it. Right.
Come here.
Some schools, that's what it talks. The money talk. We don't give a damn what your character issue is. If the boosters say, hey, the money right, and we can get you, we gonna get you. We just hope that your talent outweigh the bull crap that we got to put up with. And so now you get the friction. The friction just keeps compounding itself, right?
For sure. I mean, it has to.
Because and so now you're looking at down. Every time you see this coach, they always mad at this player. Why? Because you don't understand the difference of what they have to deal with on a day-to-day basis with not just the kid, but the parent. And it might not be the direct parent. That's the crazy part about it. It may not even be the direct parent of the parent, like the mom or the dad. It could be the auntie, the uncle. Then they agent calling, well, you messing up dollars for my kid, and they not playing. So now you got the agent involved in it. Now you got the booster involved in it. So now you stuck in the middle of the road, like, damn, so I can't even hold the kid accountable. I can't tell the kid to do nothing because y'all, it's about the money.
Okay, so now let me we got all. So here, let me see if I understand all the players in this. Now the school, the coach,
Yeah.
and I'm separating school and coach. So maybe I should say AD, coach, the kid.
80, listen, I can put it like this. Just put the 80 and the coach, just take them out the box. Because it really don't really have nothing to do with the head coach and AD at this point, really.
Well, see, what I'm trying to understand is who's supposed to have the backbone of all this cast of characters, who's supposed to have the backbone? Right? Is it the school? Because somebody got to say, you're not finna push me around, right? To the people with the money, right?
But says you can't say the AD because the reason why the AD got their job is because of the boosters. So
that's
the boosters have to listen to the AD has to listen to the boosters.
Okay, so the buck stops with who?
Depending on the school that you at. All right, so listen, I got you. If you at say football, I'll take Colorado football, right? The buck stop with Deion Sanders and the AD. If you go to Georgia, it stops with Kirby. If you go to Florida, the University of Florida football, the buck stops with the boosters. The booster control if you gonna be there or not. Because we got enough money, we can pay you out of your job. We don't give a damn what you're talking about. It depends on the university you go to, where the buck stop at. It's not a universal code at every school. Because if the boosters are giving me $500 million a year, you think I'm not gonna listen to them that's giving me that because they can just cut it off? That's just what it is.
Flip side. On the other side of that thing, who supposed to have the backbone? It's the parent, it's the kid, it's the agent, it's the high school, it's the AAU team. Somebody got to be the adult in the situation, right?
Man, listen, you would think that, but there ain't really no adult in the room. You just hope that your head coach has a high character and understand to be about the kid. That's what you hope. And that's why I always tell people, man, never go to a game where a team win and go to a game where a team lose. Because you're gonna find out the real character of everybody that's around in that program. As far as the coaches, as far as the players, as far as the AD, you're gonna find out a lot in a loss than you are gonna find out in the win. That's the best way I can break it down to you. You don't know when a team gonna lose. I should say that.
Of course not.
But you would rather be there when a team loses than when a team wins, because when a team loses, you find out you get to find out, one, what the fan base feel like. You know what I'm saying? Two, you get to find out how does coaches react after a loss. Like, what do they say to their team? How do they galvanize the troops? What do they come back and do, right? Because you in the moment, you get to see them after a loss. Okay, cool, boom. So the next time they come out and play, you expect to see something different than what you just seen in that loss. Because you're there in the flesh of it. So that's why I say it depends. It depends.
I got you.
But I would say at majority of PWIs, the boosters run the school.
Okay.
It sucks, but that's the way it is.
And maybe I'm so. And here's the thing: I'm probably spoiled because the program that I've took the deepest dive on is going to be Dawn's program at South Carolina. I didn't deep dive into Temple, although I followed her there, right?
Yeah.
So you've seen this thing built up. A lot of people forget that she's even coaching at the PWI. Sometimes people act like they think South Carolina's a HBCU or something. It's not. It's a PWI, right? She's a head coach of a PWI. Florida and LSU ran by their boosters. Okay.
Yeah, that's facts. LSU is ran by the boosters. Like, they don't care. Like, if they want to buy Kim out right now, Kim is gone out of there. It don't matter what the AD has to say. She's gone. That's just no matter what it is.
Okay. Okay. Now I got another question about the boosters. And I'm learning. So,
Yeah.
do the boosters have a meeting? Like,
Yeah.
do the boosters get together and decide what they want as boosters, or do you just have boosters that give different amounts of money?
No, the boosters talk to each other. They meet, right? You'll know if you're gonna be gone because they gotta have a board meeting, and everybody gotta
No.
vote.
In the sense of, do the boosters decide like, yo, we're paying this money because we want to be able to be in control of the program, versus we're paying this money because we want a winning program? Because to me, go ahead.
It depends. It depends on the school that you at. Like that's why I went to the University of Florida, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you actually watch a football program, they boosters cut off all their money for recruiting. Like, because we see no hope. We want the coach gone, so we cutting off everything, right? Until they have to play the quarterback they want them to play. So basically, they told the head coach, as long as you play this quarterback that you starting right now, we are not putting $0 into the account for you to get any players to commit. Once you start playing this quarterback, we'll give you the money back, and we have to see that as a future. Otherwise, we're gonna buy you out your contract, and you're gonna be gone. They're gonna fire you right now, and they got the money.
This may be a silly question, but does that have a direct effect on the University of Florida's women's basketball program?
Yes, it has everything. Because
can we talk about how?
Because the boosters control everything. They control all the sports. It don't matter what the sport is. They control all of them.
No, so what I'm saying is, if the coach doesn't play the quarterback that they want, will the boosters still give the women's hoop team some money? Or do the boosters just give the money and then they split it up?
Yeah, they cut off everything. If the biggest, so here's the thing. The biggest program is the football program, right? And so if you're not listening to the biggest program, what makes you think a smaller program going to get something? That's how it goes. It's just a trickle down effect. So the football coach got to get in line so everybody else get their money. If they don't get in line, ain't nobody else getting no money.
And I wanted to know, can you be in a situation where the boosters could be like, we're not putting no money in football. We put money in women's hoops because we believe in what this coach is doing and what the players is doing over here. We don't want none of our money going into football right now. Or we don't want none of our money going into basketball or whatever.
Yes, they flat out do that. They will flat out say, hey, listen, if they feel like they want the head coach gone, they will cut off everything for that program. Whatever you thought you had, that's gone. And they can just do it just like the flip of that. And that's why the head coaches have to meet with the boosters, right? Because they have meetings. The head coaches have to meet with the boosters. They got to stay in good graces with the boosters. Because if you don't stay in good graces with the boosters who's donating money to your program, you out of there.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and see, a lot of people don't know that the boosters run a lot of the SC programs are ran by the boosters. A lot of people don't know that. They think it's the head coach, and they think the head coach got something to say something about something, but they don't. It's all the boosters controlling everything. And the AD can't go against them, because if the AD go against them, the AD gone. And the AD ain't finna stop their money.
Interesting. I mean, it's fascinating to me. I could talk about it forever. I wonder how much the boosters are giving Our Lady Gamecocks program, because we the most winning this program at SC.
So here's what they do. It goes into their collectives. Whatever, Don want to dish out to the collectives, that's what it is. You would never know the number. They're never going to tell you the number.
Oh yeah, no. Especially not Don. Yeah. Especially not Don. Don don't tell you nothing. Cut it off quick and pay you fast. It's up to them.
They know how much money's in the account, because all the boosters donate to one account. So they know if you really trying to go get a kid and the boosters really want the kid, what you gotta hope is that your booster loves your sport. because the more your booster loves your sport, the more money they willing to give. And that's what you got to hope for. So in South Carolina case, they got a booster that loves women's basketball. So they're going to donate to make sure Don is good because they know she's going to produce a championship. So if it's a kid that Don really wants and she really like it's worth paying the money, they're going to give her the money. But it's not like that at every program. You know, you better hope that your boosters love your program and love what you're about. Because if they don't, they're not giving you any money. And so why do you see a lot of these teams talking about we got to revamp our NIL? That's why they're saying it. It's because our boosters don't get along with our head coach. So we have to do something to generate money so for us to get better players. That's why. And they're telling you that the coach might be on a 1-year rental and might be a part of that.
Yeah, what do you mean? What do you mean Gamecocks get it on the back end? They stacking. What you mean, Shanti? They made it seem like they don't be paying our girls a lot on F money because Don said if you want money, go elsewhere. If your main focus is money, then go elsewhere. That's her point. Yeah, if that's your focus, go elsewhere.
Hey, listen though, all them girls could be making 100,000, and to y'all it might not be no money. To them, it could be a lot of money. They're just never going to publicly come out and tell you how much money, but it's got to be some money because ain't nobody complaining. So they making at least 100,000.
Nobody's complaining. I mean,
so what? Basically, what Don's telling you is she's not finna give you 1.5, 2 million to come be the solo player when she know that you need a team to win, and just this one player ain't gonna change the fact of her stopping her from winning. That's what it's telling you. That's all you need to know, and that's why she's telling you the money gonna be break down even. I don't care if you number 1 on the bench or you number 15 on the bench. The money's gonna be the same. We all gonna break this down evenly. So the more we win, the more that they give to the collectors, the more money spread out between y'all. Mm-hmm. That's what she's telling you. So what do you want to do?
They got an account. They money stacking. Oh yeah, I mean, and then I listened to some of the stuff that they say. Like I believe they said that when you get your when you start getting your money, you get they make sure you set up like a 401k. They set you up with your agent from people to pick from. But the other thing though too is, like you said, I don't know if people realize how much stuff is taken care of. Like you see, they eating well. If you watching the vlogs and stuff, so they eating the car. They got their cars. They housing is taken care of. They got their stipend coming to cover their monthly bills.
Hey, listen,
they got their gas to move around, right? Like much stuff is. They should be just stacking bread. What you got?
I know a lot of people don't want to hear it, but listen, Don Staley, all she did was call Coach Prime, and and they sat down together and they came up with a plan, and that's why both of the programs were running the exact same. Like, I'm just being honest. Like they programs running, they got a lot of money sitting in the bank. If they really needed to go cash out on a player, they can, but they choose not to. Break it down equally, so we still have money in the bank to grow for the following years. That's all.
Yeah, but it also gives them like a petty cash fund that gives them some sense of some control over stuff that they can do with their program because they done stacked up kind of like their own money. So like on top of whatever else is coming in, they got some money stacking up, growing.
Well, I'll tell you this though. Work like that? I'll tell you this though. Here's what Don do that a lot of coaches don't do. She looks out for assistant coaches. And that's why I had to give you that Coach Prime factor into that, was due to the fact of instead of spending all these money on high school kids that we don't even know if they're going to be ready to come in and execute and do the things that might not want to transfer out the year, we can say this money in account. Not only can we take care of these kids, but we also can take care of the assistant coaches with us, and we still have money and we good.
Not only that, I mean, I just looked at Don. So I think the highlighters got a UFOs deal, a UFOs NIL deal, which is like the shoe deal, so that they can make some money. And then she just did something else for the practice squad to get some money. Like she paying like everybody's eating. That's the one thing I can say about these programs. Everybody eating. Everybody's eating.
Listen, I'm telling you, Prime and Don Staley, they talk, man. They eat. I look at like the Yin Yang twins, right? Boom. If Prime putting walk-ons in the commercial, hey, South Carolina put the walk-ons in the commercial. Like it's just neck and neck. But what you doing is it's doing it the right way, right? I'm not gonna just put it all on my star player. I'm gonna allow people that y'all don't think should be in commercials, that y'all don't think are stars, and I'm gonna allow them to do this and get their money up. And so now we all growing equally, and we showing you the value that when our kids come leave our university, they're gonna be educated, they're gonna understand finances, they're gonna have a great character, and they're gonna have a great job. Whether they go professional or not, they're gonna be good. That's what they're
Oh
showing
yeah,
you.
and they don't talk enough about their graduation rates. They don't talk enough about the kids that graduate their program. I think they both over 95%. I think they both at 95% or higher with the graduation rates at their programs. At they current school. So I believe the last day to go in the portal is the 22nd. So
Yeah,
I believe that,
it's a month long, so yeah, it's about right.
somewhere right around there between 22nd and the 25th. So
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, enlightening conversation. Probably not what y'all came to talk about, but
I mean, we came
it's
here to talk
in
about the
light of
Gamecocks. You know what I'm saying? They just sorry, when people ask questions, right? This is what hot takes is for, right? Y'all ask the questions, and you know what I'm saying. My job is to help best deliver the answer to y'all from a different
oh
realm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I appreciate the sharing of the knowledge. And then like you said, I don't people don't realize a lot. Like you had the AAU coaching experience and that and the different areas, you know what I'm saying, the levels that you able to talk from, levels of experience that you're able to talk from.
I honestly, man,
I don't think Don's graduation rate is 100%.
nah,
So
nobody's
facts.
going to listen. Nobody's going to be at 100% because you always can get a kid that's going to leave early to go play professionally, and then they got to come back and get their degree. So you're never going to
Mhm.
be at 100%. Um, but no, I
Well,
just for me, I also like I love that I coach AAU and I learned so much from it. Because you actually got to learn about the business side of sports that a lot of people don't know.
right.
And so my job has always been to educate people on that realm of man, understand the business. I don't know if you got a teenage kid that's going through high school that's looking to play at the next level, where whatever sport it is. Like I always try to educate parents from on that standpoint because I remember as an athlete coming out of high school, I couldn't even imagine we had NIL when I was going to college. Wow, hey, listen, I did so much stuff. Hey, you would have, hey,
I
it's
think
crazy.
I think Asia said it the best when Draymond asked Asia, what if they had an NIL when you was around? Asia said, "Oh, I had a mink to the flow. I'd have been coming into games with a mink to the flow. It would have just been crazy." I mean, everything comes along at the right time. Like it would have been nice to have back then, but like it's coming along at the right time, and it's not perfect. It's so far from perfect right now, but it was needed. It was needed. It's time. It was time for young people to get paid. And yes, sports is absolutely a business. It's going to continue to be a business, and we got to leverage platforms like this to be able to get information out and let parents know. You know what I mean? Where they can get information and be able to advocate for their kids in this process and educate themselves so that they're not part of the problem when it's time to sit at the table. And that they read these contracts properly, and knowing what they signing their kids up for, right? Because you are signing your kids up to where they're gonna have to dot some I's and cross some T's to be able to keep everything going. You know
I
what I
say
mean?
this,
So
yeah, I say this
yeah,
with AAU because I know a lot of people talk about AAU. AAU has a lot of pros and cons to it. I wouldn't lie to you in that situation. There are a lot of programs out here they just money hungry. I can't speak for other programs. I can only speak for programs where I've been affiliated to that I've been able to branch off and do things. But like there's been players on my team that didn't have the money. You know what I'm saying? And I sacrificed it and put in money for the kids to travel and do different things. So I can't speak for every program, but I do know for sure I've been around where there's programs that, if you don't make the top squad, everybody that don't make the top squad, you're pretty much paying for the program, right? And the money, the time, the investment that you put into that, it's a lot, right? And so when y'all think about it from the coaching standpoint of it, the coaches don't, you know what I'm saying? You don't get paid for all the time that you miss for your family and things like that you sacrifice to help these kids get to another level. It's something that we choose to do, you know what I'm saying, that we take away from our lifestyles. And I think a lot of people devalue that and they take it out on a coach. But a lot of times it's like, damn, we sacrificing practice time during the week, right? Then you talk. So here's my schedule, right? Tuesday, Thursday, we had practice. We traveling Friday morning. We play Friday night. We play Saturday. We play Sunday morning. We travel back, right? So in reality, Monday, Wednesday is really the only 2 days where I ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Outside of work stuff. So the time that you have to put into AAU, especially on a basketball side of things, it's a lot to not get paid nothing. And so sometimes as parents have to understand, it's like as hard as you is on a coach, what are you doing to help your kid get better? That's the part where we got to start focusing on, because a lot of times you're not even investing into your kid to get better. You want to put all the blame on the coach, and the head coach job is really AAU is really not where you're supposed to get better at, right? That's where you supposed to go you're supposed to train to get better, not play games. You don't get better in games. You get better at practice and developing a skill set that translates to a game. But it always blows me that you get mad at the AAU coach, but don't ever get mad at the high school coach who got them 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, and your kid don't develop anything. So those are the things that, like, I just want people to understand is how much time and effort the AAU coaches actually put into it. And there are programs out here that's taking advantage. And the reason why they're taking advantage of the situation is because you do have a lot of rich people that they kid don't have talents that they pay for a kid to be on the team. And it sucks.
So, I got a question. I got a question because I see here, I don't know how much time you got, but the
I'm
conversation.
good. I'm good. I'm good. Let's rock. Let's rock.
So
We good.
let's go. These and I'm trying to get Coach Coleman to pop up here because I want his insight, but I can't. He ain't responded. But I see High Vibration saying these hobbies are expensive, and this is what this is what I want to understand.
What
To me,
hobbies?
right? When you say I'm gonna play AAU, that means that basketball is more than a hobby. No, basketball. That mean I'm trying to go pro in this thing, or it don't mean that. I mean,
There's
once
levels.
you start paying to play and traveling around, it's not about hobby no more. This about I want to do this, or am I tripping? Talk to me about when you make that type of commitment. That's what I'm thinking.
All right, so there's levels to AU. Well, and that's why I want him to clarify hobbies, right? Are you talking about high level basketball for your kid, as far as playing on shoot? Because here's the thing about AU. It's really 3 levels to this. The first level is the shoe brand circuits. The next is the independent, and then there's a beginner's level. So what level are you talking about? If you're talking about a kid going to play on a shoe brand, it's going to cost money. It's going to cost money to play on a shoe brand. That's the reason why it's the shoe brand circuit. Independent circuit, it's all up upon the team. How much traveling do they want to do? Because you can make it cost efficient where you don't have to leave your state and still play against great teams, depending on what the level of basketball in your state is.
Okay.
Let's just say we take a Texas, right? Where a lot of kids play, a lot of teams travel to Texas. Where
Mm-hmm.
if you have a decent independent program, you truly don't have to leave the state. You can go to Dallas, you can go to Houston or Austin and have a tournament every goddamn on weekend and never have to leave the state, and your kids get the exposure that they need in front of the right coaches.
What if I
What are
want
we
to
talking about?
go there?
Let's classify this because there's levels to this.
Okay, and you bring up a good point. I got a question. When does a kid know, or when should a family? Because I don't understand how this stuff works. Okay, let's take a let me back up for a second. Let's take I think it's AGOT. Let's take AGOT McKeer, right? A got was at one school for 3 years, and then she went to Mount Verde for her last year, right? When and when that happens, can you clarify for me? Does the entire family go, or do you just send your kid?
Well, when you hold on, give me one.
Huh? Because I want to know, because I want to also understand, like, when does a family, and if the whole family is going, when does the family know that we should pack up and go, or when
All
do
right,
we know that we should send our kid, and what does that cost?
I'm gonna use IMG instead of because that's who I have experience with. And
Okay, yeah, yeah, cool, cool,
we have
cool.
some Colorado kids go there. And we have a bunch of Colorado
Okay,
kids that go to IMG.
okay,
So basically, IMG is its own. It's pretty much a college. It's just a high school college. What it is, right? They have their own dorms where they're independent. They're living by themselves, things like that. Have an individual life, but they're still go on campus, take classes, and they just train to play professionally. So if your kid is getting selected to go to a Mount Verde, or they're getting selected to go to IMG or Oak Hill Academy, those type of schools, your baseline for where you think your kid is going is they're going to play at a P4. That's the reason why you're sending them there, because
okay,
that's what their record is. It's just a
okay.
mini college. Is all it is.
Mini high school college. That's what
So
Shanti saying in the chat too. Okay,
yeah. So in return, you're not picking up the travel unless you already live by there. You're not going. You're just sending your kid there. Your kid lives on their own. They have an
okay.
independent life, and they go through high school just without no distractions. You were just in
Okay.
there working. So
I got Coach Coleman also joining the conversation. I know
what
usually
up?
the CC time, but the conversation was so good, and the opportunity to have Coach Coleman, who's coached up to a semi-pro level. Did you coach? Have you done any AAU coaching, Coach?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, so to have you guys up here having this conversation at NIL and how it's changed, I wanted to add him to the conversation. So, surprise,
Yeah.
Coach! You surprised to Coach too, because he didn't know. But the conversation was cooking. And I wanted to keep it going.
Yeah, it's
So,
cooking. It's cooking.
it's so much. I'm learning so much. So I send my kid off, and they stay with who? Rob.
They have dorms. It's just like a
Okay.
mini college. They
Okay.
have
So you
dorms.
go to Okay. So you go to IMG. They got a dorm. You go to the caf and eat. You go to classes.
Yeah.
Okay. And IMG reaches out and says, "Hey, come here."
Yeah, if they want you, first of all, you got to apply, right? But they do their own recruiting process, right? You can't be no average kid. You gotta have something that brings to the table, that brings to the team, for them to say yes, right? Because it is a tuition based school. Now you're gonna have some kids that's gonna be there because their parents have enough money for them to pay there. But if you on the ace, because they do have two teams, they have an A squad. The A squad is these are people that they individually picked by watching their film, watching what they did at their previous high school before they committed there. The B squad is more going to be of people who actually pay money, and they doctors, lawyers, whoever that pay money to come to the school. So there's levels when you go to these schools. That there is a B squad. You just don't know the B squad because you don't really see them, but they do have a B squad.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah. Now I had no idea it's a B squad.
Yeah.
Right.
And so is the goal when I'm in high school for IMG to want me? Am I looking for that IMG letter?
For what? What's the purpose?
That's what I'm asking. Like, because you said they have their own recruiting process. So when I'm working, if I'm at North Dakota, if I live in North Dakota
Yeah.
somewhere,
It,
am I sending them my highlights? Like, y'all, look, this
I
is
told
wild to me.
I'll explain from a Colorado standpoint, right? Because that's like I said, a lot of kids from Colorado go there. The reason why a lot of kids go from Colorado to IMG is because you're looking at the competition level, right? Because there's a quote unquote stature of, well, Colorado doesn't have this high ceiling of talent. And so we don't truly know what your real ceiling is, what you can do. So now you have to go to IG to show I'm really a P4 guy or P4 girl, and I can show it at that level. And so that's because you might be getting mid-major offers, but you might be a P4 kid, but you don't know because they can only grade you off of the competition that you're facing. So in high school, if you're not facing high level competition, I can't say you're that. So now I need to see you in that realm of that and what that looks like. So that's why you'll see a lot of kids go to IMG, because the competition that they're facing in high school may not be good enough to get them where they're really trying to go.
Right. I mean, I agree with you, Rob. I think before AAU used to be invite to the highest level, and then it grew into a multi-million-dollar business. So it goes back to I think about a few months ago, Seth and I touched on it briefly. So, Rob is on the side where you have your Division One athletes, and your AAU is going to be the 4 or 5 players on that top squad, and then everybody else is going to be Division Three. So basically, you're going to pay into a program to go play. You get offered Division Three is you don't get scholarship money, but you can get merit money, and so it's non-scholarship, and so it'll be interesting to see what kind of impact NIL will have on Division Three. I think it will touch it in some form, but staying on along the AAU. So now you have these parents that one pay money, you're the B and C team or team red, your team blue and yellow, whatever, and so
It's
you're
always
gonna
like the
pay,
gold silver.
yeah, to go. Right.
The
So you're
elite
gonna pay,
gold
yeah,
silver.
and then you're gonna pay to go to a private. But then here's the thing. So you're paying for exposure, and so now your child may go to a top Division Three program, but you're still going to pay for that if they don't have a certain level of academics to get merit, quote unquote, merit money to pay for a portion or most of it, or to decrease the cost for you. So yeah, parents are paying, but then you're paying. So for some of those talents that are Division Three talents, they're paying. They're just paying a lot in the program, so they got to pay less from when they go to these private Division Three schools. And Division Two is hit and miss. It's the same thing. There's a lot of students that have to take out student loans. Your high level Division Twos, that means they're Division One players that have a situation, and and they might get called up. So Division Two is like the D League to the NBA, because
I,
that multiple players can play Division One level. You just don't want to touch the baggage that comes with the Division Two player. Go ahead, Robert. You want to say something?
yeah. It's hey, listen. It says it's a lot of Division twos that got more money than Division One schools do, and people
Exactly.
don't even know it. It's a lot of good Division two programs that are smoke some D1 programs. And a lot of D1 do not want to schedule
Okay. So I got a question. I got a question for both of you. Um, how many of these players that spend their time paying? Right. I want to talk about the players that's paying now, not that upper echelon. How many of these players that's really paying at the AAU and then paying to go to the IMG? How many of them really go pro and make it?
So all right. Like I said, there's levels, right? You're talking about shoe brand company teams.
Mhm.
You have your elite. You have your gold and your silver. Your gold and silver, both of those teams are paying.
Okay.
On your elite team, you might have 4 at the most paying. The rest of them not paying. Like your top 7, they ain't paying because you had to do something to get them there, right? You had to
Okay.
either pay for the parents or you had to pay for the player or somebody, some way, the white envelope had to come to somebody to get them top
Okay.
7. After the top
Okay.
7, it's a hit and miss, right? Because in reality on the AU team, at most you're gonna see 10 players. You're not gonna see a 12-man roster or anything because there's not that many minutes in AU to go around for you to have that type of
Okay.
roster.
Gotcha.
So
So silver players, how many of them is really going pro?
it that could be that
None.
could be a difference because it's levels to that, right? Your
Right,
silver
right,
team could be tremendously better than somebody else's silver team. It depends
Right.
on what say you win. Like
Okay.
that could pins. Like I can't. I'm not gonna say and give you a definitive number because the
right.
talent level
I
on
mean,
some people's silver teams is completely different than somebody else's.
and I
I
guess what
mean,
I'm saying in general is like the benefit. I'm trying to understand the benefit of playing. If I'm not the top 7, what is my benefit of playing? Am I paying for the opportunity to build a network with them top 7? because I'm going to become eventually a sports agent or a lawyer or a coach or something else other than a basketball player? Because some of these people that's playing for real.
Hey,
No
listen,
matter how much you pay, little buddy, you're not even going pro at the AU. You AU ain't you can't be athletes unlimited, right? Some of y'all just ain't, but you got the money to be there.
I says
I mean,
What's the
I'm gonna
benefit for
explain
that?
this. I'm gonna
yeah,
explain this to you. This
yeah,
is what it is. Some of these people just paying for the name. That's all they. It's just to say I played there. I got the shoes. I got the book bag. I got this because
I know so and
some
so.
names, some AU names hold weight to certain colleges. It don't mean you have to play. I just make the team, and as long as I
Oh,
make the
wait.
team, I got
You went
opportunity.
to the college to be able to say that I was on the Nike EYBL champion
right, right.
last year.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
Have
they
that on
do.
their resume means something to
that's it.
them getting into school. Okay, okay.
I,
I
but
mean,
but says what you don't realize is there's a lot of coaches that will literally offer a kid that's sitting on the bench of an EYBL, the kid check in for 3 minutes, make two shots, and they get offers, and the kid over there busting them. I'm talking about just giving them the work in that 3 minutes, and they're offering because they're like, oh, they're great character kid. They just gonna be on that. They gonna clap and they gonna bring our GPA up. So we need that kid. They already understand the business.
Hey man, you gotta have a smart kid. Gotta have a smart kid.
I'm not saying, listen, I'm not saying you're wrong, but when you ask that question, what it
Yeah, no,
is,
I'm
that's what
saying
it is.
no. That's why I'm asking because I want to know, but I want other people to understand too, like the opportunities that's out there. Um, I want people to understand, like Coach Coleman talked about Division 3. People don't think about Division 3 schools, but there's opportunities out there. You just
You,
said that Division 2 schools out there, and we saw it. We talked about they move up right to
yeah.
Division 1. It's Division 2 programs out there with money for you. Um, you can
I
Well,
go
mean,
pro from any level,
you even got
right? You can go pro from any of those levels.
I mean, you
what,
even got NCAA as well. That's not even NCAA, and it's another. And any IA schools are real bigger, like some in the Southeast and Midwest, especially Midwest area. National Association and interscholastic. Say, it's called the NAIA, and they have in the NAIA they have Division 1 and 2, so they're even kind of similar to the NCAA. And there's some scholarship money there, but not as much. So they're still fairly young. But you'll see now. I think you'll see them growing a little bit because it's if you could play, they could find you. What I want to share is that usually on that silver and bronze team, you got the annoying high school coaches coming out of that level. You got the annoying JUCO coaches want to be. They the people that kiss their way up to these Division 1 assistant coach positions, and so it becomes a classism. It becomes a networking. It becomes because my parents have money, I can will my way into those positions, and so I mean, it's just that the Basconomics and the caste system. I don't like to use that word, but that's what it is, you know. But
I
yeah, it's the lifelong connections. I mean, there's some people like from my coaching years experience, I still have connect. I got a call last year to go come coach at a school in Georgia, a prep school, which I was, which was fine because of just the relationships throughout the years. So I get a call. I wasn't looking for the job. It was down in South Georgia, and they went from prep school to JUCO. So I say all that to say, so you can never cancel out what the relationship can lead you to um, outside of that, because there's some of the parents that I have connection with in other industries and other. If you got other work skills, I'm more than basketball. I might want to do something in a different industry or do something freelance. And so it's a lot to it. It's levels to it. It is. There's a lot of levels.
yeah. And the reason why people don't look at D3 a lot is because you're paying. There's no scholarships. So that's why a lot of kids overlook D3s unless you got a parent that has a financial background and understand that hey, you're gonna have to pay this. So that's why a lot of kids turn down D3. You'll see a kid go to an NAI just because they get a scholarship, then go to a D3, which might be the better fit for that kid. So those things come into play too.
Okay. So
Shotty,
what I just heard y'all tell me is that it's not one pure level of basketball left. It's politics and business at every level.
Oh yeah. That ain't gonna stop. Coach,
Politics.
and Coleman he hit it on the head. Like the gold and silver teams, like that's where when you be seeing all them AAU fights, the coaches and the referees, that's what majority of this that be happening there. It don't happen with the premium teams. That don't happen. It don't even get to that point because they know how to control the game. They know what it is. Them gold and silver teams, them coaches be thinking they be thinking they out there Gino. Hey, you can't tell me nothing. Hey, ref, you wrong. And that's where a lot of the fights be starting at.
Right. I mean, for sure.
So okay, I got another question for the coaches. I'm a parent. My kid is pretty good. What is the first who is the first person that I need on my side? Is it the agent? Is it the AAU coach? Is it the high school coach? Is it a different advisor? Where is my first? What's the first relationship that I need to build to try to be on the road to success? Right? Um, what do you go get first?
The gym.
Right.
That's
You're
the best
better.
relationship you can have. The gym, the work,
Right.
no
Okay,
putting in the work.
okay.
Like it starts there, right? And then from there, right, getting the right trainer.
It seemed like a lot of people skipping that part, though, Coach. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna be honest. Seemed like
yeah, yeah. But
So
seem
I
like a lot of these, and I don't know if it's the parents or the kids. It's like, but I can shoot this logo 3.
but see, here's the thing. It's a mixture of both, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some kids want to work and some kids don't. I've been around some kids that they can score 20 points and hate being in the gym. And I'm like, you're only gonna get better if you get in the gym. Like you're not gonna get better not being in the gym. That just doesn't work. It doesn't work hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
when you get to college, hey, are you ready to wake up at 5 a.m. and go on this run and have to put up all these shots and work on your skills and develop? If you ain't ready for that, then what are we doing? Right? So
So then,
one is
first person is the
understanding.
trainer. Is it the trainer? Then that's the most important first. If
I,
your parent don't know basketball,
well, I'm gonna let Rob furnish sharing because I'm just kind of blended with. I'm agreeing with what he's saying, but I just want to blend something else with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and let
Oh,
Rob speak.
go ahead. Because I can always finish mine.
Yeah. So Rob was saying, yeah, one, you got it's your work ethic and how you move and being consistent. But I was saying all those sources you named, your character reference. There should be a consistent theme amongst all those people you mentioned, high school, trainer, AAU. So to me, when you're talking about recruiting a player, when I go to those different people as a college coach, is there a consistent, uh, are these consistently sharing their work ethic, they're respectful, they respect their parents or their parent, guardian, whoever, those things. And so, yes, we want the work ethic, the commitment. And then in school, are they involved in other things besides sports in school? Are they a well rounded person? So I think, because I don't want a player that's just sports. Do they have an academic interest? Is it something else? Like if they play an instrument? So I'm not saying they have to, but you want to look at how well rounded and how much is that person investing in themselves as a person. And they're not just riding on basketball to be there everything. Because this is 2025. This is the 21st century. You can't just count on cashing out on basketball. Anything can happen to you. So do they have a plan when their main plan, is not attainable because things are beyond their control. And that takes reasonable adult support, parenting support, and also the trainer being honest, the head coach being honest, the AAU being honest. And sometimes that's hard to come by. But we're gonna do
Talk about it.
character reference. Is it consistent? Does this person have a work ethic on the court and in the classroom? And how are they respected in their high school that they represent? How are they? What's their reputation? Just because they play great, that doesn't mean they have a great reputation. Great
okay.
reputation in the
So
school.
Most people miss on
go
the
ahead, Rob.
character part. Go ahead, Seth. What you gonna say?
No, and I think so. My question is coming from a place of two things. I see parents out here paying for their kids to be in AAU. Well, somebody should have just told them, hey, you they don't got it. They don't got it. They no matter how much you pay, they not gonna have it.
Right,
And,
right.
and two, I hear parents and mostly like single women saying, I
Mm-hmm.
think my kid might be good, but I don't know. And where do I start and where do I go and what is the program and how do I know? I don't know nothing about basketball, but they want to. Where do they go? Who do they start with? And I heard you say the gym, but then what does that look like for them? Is what is where I'm at with that.
First of
It's
all,
not
if
just the
you
gym
want
because you know if your kid want it or not, right? You know if your kid want to be in the gym or not, right? But
Hmm.
if you truly really want to know where your kid at, do your research on area trainers that deal with high school kids. The reason why I'm saying that is because first do your research to make sure that they understand or do they know how the levels work, right? Because not
Right.
every trainer understands that. And by the time you go through that first training session, it's gonna tell you everything you need to know about your kid. How bad do they want it? Because there are certain trainers that like if you run into me, I'm gonna put you. If I haven't seen you play, I'm gonna put you through a series of workouts. Based upon that, I could pretty much tell what kind of level that you could play at because Division 1 level kids, especially when it comes to basketball players, the way you bounce a ball, it looks a certain way. Certain things just look the part. You could tell, right? Now it's when I put you from now individual workout to I put you to a team setting. What does that look like? Right? Some of the things you could figure out, but it's truly on how much the work is of a kid, and sometimes the biggest piece of it is the parent has to step back. And that's the hardest piece.
Well, sometimes the parent wants it more than the kid. How
That's
often do y'all deal with that?
all the time.
yeah, that's quite often. You see that you see that in elementary sports.
Yeah.
You know,
And, that's, and that's why I
the
said
kid
that,
picking their nose, they get caught in the net, they sitting Indian style while the game is going on. So that means you need to find something
Not the
else.
Indian style.
Yeah, they sitting Indian style, they eating apple slices and they on the court. I've seen it, because I even ref. I give back sometimes and I ref youth sports just, because it's never enough, just to, and so seeing all that, and Rob knows it's like, okay, when you see that level, well, this is not your area for your child. Find something that they thrive. It's about finding something that he or she thrives in, right? And then I'm like this, just like we talk about multiple streams of income, you have to have multiple streams of skills that you use
yeah,
to take care of your pay for your next level of education. You shouldn't just count on that. I mean, come on, we're in 2025. I'm real quick, Rob, and Auntie, I'm gonna point out Joyce Edwards. I mean, do you really think they had to throw a scholarship at her? She's in school for engineering. I'm sure she's an academic scholarship somewhere. And you get what I'm saying?
yeah.
And if she wanted to play volleyball, she was all American. I mean, all state. So I'm just saying,
Oh,
like, and
you
soccer.
just
I
made me
mean, so,
okay. Here y'all go. See, I got y'all up here, coaches. Here's a question. I got a chance at an academic scholarship and an athletic scholarship. Isn't it always better to take my academic scholarship?
yes.
Not yeah, it depends. Depends on what school
Yeah,
you at.
I would
And
because they can.
the reason I ask is because I could get injured, anything can happen. I mean, I can still get my NIL, I can still do all of that, and I don't know if you can accept the academic and the athletic scholarship at a school, but like
Depends on the policy of the school.
if
Yeah,
my brain was already gonna pay for it, shouldn't I just take that because isn't that more guaranteed than a as long as I keep my grades up, isn't that kind of more guaranteed than a athletic scholarship? Because I hear even though they say you got a guaranteed 4 year ride, there's no such thing as a guaranteed 4 year ride. You know,
ain't
Yeah,
no
speak to that.
guarantee. Ain't no guarantee for your ride. Scholarships are year basis now. Ain't no ain't no
uh-huh.
So
guarantee. Ain't no
so
guarantee for your ride no more. I don't know
so
who
should I
told you
take?
that.
Is it better to take that academic versus that athletic if I have that
Yeah.
option like a Joyce Edwards?
In academics, the only person that can take that away from you is you,
Yeah,
not maintaining your GPA. So there's no excuse. It's not because you didn't go to practice. It's not because you're not getting playing time. It's because I didn't keep the required GPA to maintain my scholarship. So academic scholarship is like what running track, playing tennis, and playing golf. It's your individual. It's on you. You can't
Hmm.
hide you. So I'd rather
Okay.
go for that. And you're investing in your what I call your lifetime tool, right? In yourself. Not in sports, you're kind of investing in yourself, but you're wearing your body down and somebody making money off of you, but still giving pennies on the dollar.
Yes.
NIL just existed. They still giving you pennies off the dollar, but it's better that you're making something than nothing. But you got your academic scholarship. You can write your own check. You can be a consultant. You can be a business owner. You can work with people. So the academic, I think, is more possibility. You got more possible blank checks than you do in your academic. And we don't like to talk about it, but you do than you do with your athletic scholarship. So I think in our communities, I come from the city. I'm from New Jersey. I'm born and raised. I come from public school, and it's and so the thing is that particular public school at Broadway High School, what it taught me was I was a city kid, and they threw me in a academic competition team for debate for politics. And that was a team. It was called Model United Nations and Model Congress, right? So it was a skill that I have for a lifetime, and that I can go into other networks and arenas because I've been exposed to something. So the thing is about these students who come from areas, you got to get them some more exposure to expand their portfolio. And so they know they're more than a basketball. They're more than a jump shot. They're more than a dunk. But they have brilliant mind, and your mind is not just brilliant on the court, but your mind can be brilliant in life. I didn't mean to give that TED talk, but sometimes we can get caught up and we objectify our own kids and saying we're helping them. They're more than that sport.
So here's what I'll piggyback today, right? We already recruiting you, right? One of the things we're recruiting is your character. So your character, it's going to be a base of the parameters of how you treat people, how good of a teammate, and can you get it done in the classroom? And so the reason why we're recruiting, can you get done in the classroom, because we have a standard that we have to be able to certain GPA clause in my contract. So if you don't meet that, you know what I'm saying? I can cut your scholarship at any point in time, but I need you still to have enough GPA where if I cut your scholarship, you're still gonna be able to go back financial wise on it. So it's the only difference from athletics to academics is room and board. Really, that's really the difference. But I mean, that's
Do you mean like quality of room and board, or
just room and board in general. Like that's really the only difference, right? And when you talk about scholarships of athletic scholarship versus academic, that's really the only difference. Is they cover more things with the athletes than they do a regular student because of they know that you're going to be doing more activities wise on a day-to-day basis than you are as an average student, right? So you always going to have that, right? And so when you see walk-ons at schools, that's what they're on. They're instead of them being on a scholarship for basketball, whatever sport, they are on an academic scholarship. And so that's how that whole thing plays out. So they're on some type of scholarship.
okay, got you. I just when Coach brought up like the academics of it, like a Joyce, like she could just like you said, could just very well been at South Carolina as just an engineering student and not been paying for school just based on her knowledge.
Well, currently constructed, right? If people were smart, they wouldn't have took the athletic scholarship and they would go on academic scholarship because they can make more money in NIL.
Really?
Builds your brand. Yeah.
Okay.
Because what it does, it frees up more money for you to go get better players around you. Because if you think about it, if I can make $1 million, right, they gonna cut me a break because I'm one of the star players. I make $1 million, and you get to add another roster spot for somebody who couldn't do that. It's a difference. You just making the team better. That's all. That's how you steal players.
I mean, and that may be changing as revenue shared and everything else.
That's why. That's why, because that's what the Georgia football team was doing. The better players were making so much NIL money that they took them off scholarship and they just quote unquote pay for school, but they really didn't quote unquote pay for school because they just use their academics money and then they pay their room and board stuff And so now I just stole extra 6, 7 kids that I wouldn't have had to put them on scholarship based upon my star players making all this money.
Yeah, and I see
Great
Waterfall
areas.
saying, I was told by former players take the academic because it gives you more leverage.
It does.
That's
Okay,
right.
all right.
That's right.
So I mean, I'm just as these things is coming to my mind, I want to throw them out there and get y'all opinion on it because I just think it's out here now. I want this type of conversation out there so kids think about all of these things that they're making these decisions, especially if you coming from a place of not really having the guidance or knowing where to start. I mean, if you start on YouTube, at least this is out there. Consider, are you where your
Yeah.
academics at? This is why what I'm saying, going to class and making sure that you getting them grades and stuff are important so that you have options, so that you do have leverage, so that you can make sure that if you're using your body to get you to school, what I'm saying, to get your brain to education, then that you're making the best financial decision that you can make. So
I mean,
there's
some
that.
people don't. Some people don't have a choice but to take the athleticism.
Sure,
You
sure, sure.
know, that's just what it is. Every kid is on a different base, right? Because you have to realize certain schools guidelines might not translate to that college. So it's a difference of why certain things happen and why they had to take this scholarship versus the other scholarship. But if you get an academic scholarship, you have more leverage and can do more than what somebody can on a athletic scholarship. And on the academic, they can't really tell you where to stay at. On the athletic, they kind of got a choice of where you can stay at. So
Right. Right.
Oh, really?
yeah,
Okay.
they can get they can, when you're on an athletic scholarship. Oh, they definitely can control where you stay at now.
I thought now you can stay off campus and stuff with the athletic.
You can always stay off campus, but you gotta stay where we tell you what area we tell you to stay in, not what you want to do. Like we gotta have some type of say
What?
so.
Why
We
do
gonna
you
have
What?
some type of say so.
Well, what am
you
I
know,
staying off campus for, Coach? If you telling me where to stay, yeah, academic for real. Academic for real is the way to go. You know what I mean? To me, I'm
remember that it's contract. It's
yeah.
I-99.
Yeah,
It's 1099. Play
Keep these in mind.
contract.
Keep these in mind. And if you don't know, man, get you one of them. Don't
yeah.
don't don't be afraid to go and see a lawyer and have a lawyer look
I,
over what people putting in front of you. You know what I'm
I,
saying?
I, I said, here's what you got to think about. If we got to pay
Uh,
you a stipend for you to go pay your rent and stuff, we gonna know where you stay at.
Right.
Like, that's one thing gonna happen. And you gotta think about it like this: if you're a realtor, why would you try to get good with the football or basketball team?
Oh, of course. That's what I was just. That was I was just about to say. If I'm the school, I'm making a relationship with a couple apartment complexes, and these is you can choose from these which one you want, and based
I,
on probably what level player you are, you can stay at the nicer one. The rest of y'all can kind of be over here mid. I don't know. To me, that's how I think it would work.
yeah, I mean, if you go and ask USC, you know how they players be staying downtown in the lofts and all that, man. That's all set up, man. They controlling where you stay. Yeah, we'll get you a crib, but we get control where you get that crib at. Come on now. We ain't finna just because we got to make sure we get our money back off of that. You know what I'm saying? When you get up off that property or your parents get up off that property, we got to make sure we can get our money back off that investment that we just invested on you on. So that's
So,
all it is.
yep. So when you're an athlete scholarship, parents that are listening and whoever we watch know that you are, even if it's NIL and NIL may be a distance or a close goal that you can reach, you are still not your own. But if you go on because you have an academic scholarship, you met the requirements, and they want to give you something based on what you earned off of your high school achievements and books. Now you kind of navigate, you write your own story and have a little more freedom to be because you're not obligated to do and be places where a program needs you to be. And so those are things to think about. And so that's why some high school great high school players never pan out because it's a whole different market and demand at high level college basketball, or they may transfer down to Division 2, Division 3, or NAIA because they just want to play the sport and not all the other stuff that comes through expectations that come with Division 1 performing.
All right.
You got to perform. Even if you're not on the court, clock times where you got to perform with the what? The team GPA. Because we got you on here for team GPA. So if you're not holding up to
Yep,
that, then you're not production. So everyone's production is important, whether you're practice, whether you great scout team, whether you got to clock a lot of minutes, or we're expecting you to produce for our team GPA. Everybody has a role to play.
that's facts. And when you don't get it,
So
shake my
so
hand.
shake my hand. I got you. So it's transfer portal time. Kids are moving around. I'm at one of the power four, right? I'm in this I'm in the space, right? In the big D1 space. From both of y'all perspective, is it bad to say? And I'm gonna say let's say Kiyomi McMillan, and I'm only using her because of the fact that there is a Jordan Brand HBCU, right? For a player that wants to go to the WNBA or go pro from a player of her caliber, is there a downside from her going from a Rutgers to a like a Howard, right? Does that hurt her brand? Does that hurt her relationship? She wouldn't play for a NCAA championship more than likely from there. Your opinion on that, and should kids consider taking a step down or or a lateral move to a smaller program as an opportunity to still go pro? What do you guys think?
Go ahead, right? You know, go ahead, right?
I'll say this. I don't think it'll hurt her brand. What I think this is what I believe she should do. Whoever she has representing her, she needs to get the hell away from them. And she just needs to start over and just focus on getting mentally right and focus on her mental space right now. As that get better, get in the gym, work on your crafts, get with your trainer, but it's not gonna hurt her. She just needs to redo her brand and focus on the right things. I just think the situation at Rutgers, coming as a 5-star player, coming as a big time player, her expectations, what she wanted, didn't align with the players they had. And so now, what did you learn from that situation that's gonna help you better? And understanding that you have to be a better teammate. Understand that you have to take the guidance, whatever that coach telling you to do, take the guidance and grow up. Because what you did didn't work. So now you got to do it in a different form. It's just what it is.
Yeah, definitely. Along the lines with Rob was sharing is that when you transfer, you what? It's a change in environment, and hopefully that environment is more encouraging to you to encourage you to mature in the game and in your emotions, your feelings, and mentally. Like right, we say Marshawn Lynch said, your mental's in your chicken, and so she goes to HBCU. If you can play, they're gonna want you no matter what. Her responsibility is to be consistent in her performance and production, consistent with sticking with her team. You can't. I mean, unfortunately, I don't think she can afford to have any um, public fallout with her program as it happened at Rutgers. And the main thing, McMillan has to make up her mind what she wants. And then I agree with Rob on that's not a good adult representative and support in her position. I think that that was my concern is will it be the same thing, different plays, same people because you're going to get the
Mhm.
same
Wrong.
expectations. You're going to get the same results, and so that becomes what insanity, or what some people say that becomes wasteful energy or wasted energy, right? So my thing is, I don't want because I want to see her successful. I don't want her to have wasted energy at her next stop.
Got you.
You know what I
So
mean?
another question.
That's like, go ahead,
Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No,
No,
I
no,
was
go
just
ahead.
saying that. I was like, that's like you ever been in the game, coaching the game out, and they forget to start the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you gotta start the clock. You've
Start
been
the
playing.
clock, man. Hey, we done
Yeah,
played 3-4 possessions, bro. Start the clock, bro.
right, yeah. So So you
Especially
got
when you beating the team, you just want to get the game over with. Like, come on, bro.
yeah.
Come on. We trying to get up out of here, man. Like, start the clock, man.
So, yeah, so that's what I had to put out to Keomi, man. You got to start your clock. You start your clock. Would you say,
But see,
So, oh, go
my,
ahead.
my biggest thing with Kiyomi is I don't know if it's necessarily her
Okay.
or if it's her circle.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And the bad advice she's getting from her circle is why she's
Fair.
reacting the way she's reacting. That's the part you don't know, right? And so that's why I say start the circle first, because it's somebody in the circle that just didn't like the fit of Ruck. They didn't like her going to Rutgers from the get go, and they just had to deal with it. And when they got there, it was one of the moments. I told you so.
Okay.
And now she
That's
has to
fair.
live with it.
That's fair. That's fair. So, okay. In this day and age of NIL and the M's and uh, like you said, it's only at AAU. It's only maybe 5 or 7
Oh,
kids, right? That are
yeah. Hey,
dominating.
MJ Lover, she can't take the Brandon Jennings route. She has to go to a 4-year college. I wish that they would allow women to go overseas and play, but
Oh
she
yeah,
can't
yeah,
do
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah, no.
She ain't gonna be able to play in the league.
Right. It would disqualify her as an American to go overseas and try to come back, but they let international players come over. That's what
And
HD was talking about, I think.
I don't like that. I think that discriminates
It's,
towards our
it's,
black
it's
and
discrimination.
brown young from making a living, and because school is not for everybody, and you shouldn't have to be forced to do something that's not fits where you're at right now. School is always an option here in our country that if it doesn't work, you can go back. It doesn't matter what age, as far as the education or the skill training. You go back when it fits appropriate for your life. And so if it doesn't fit in the life, you need to go. So that needs to be looked at. That needs to be addressed
Yeah.
because that's a discrimination in the system
I
for
think
sure.
that's part of CBA what they fighting for, because Juju was trying to go overseas and play, and they was trying to do everything not to go to college. She wanted to go overseas and play to come to the league, because, and not saying that she didn't want to go to school, but it's just some things of your game will progress being overseas, playing professionally, making money, and all those things that come with it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just the nature of the game. But go
I
ahead,
mean,
say
look at a small
start.
window.
Yeah,
She got hurt. She had a small window to do it, and then now
yeah,
she got hurt. Hopefully, she'll come back bigger and better with the medical technology. But that's why you go do it because you have a small window
yep,
to go do it.
So, my other question, now that we on this topic, kind of down this rabbit hole, is these top players, do they get a say? Like, so right now, Hannah Hidalgo sitting up there with Ivy. Are they in the office together talking about what's coming out the transfer portal? Are they in the office together talking about what they want to go after? Does it
yeah.
matter? Does Hannah and those players get a say? How far does it go? Do they talk to their circle? Let me know.
Your
I
star player
mean,
has every say so in the NIL era.
What?
Every
So
say
Hannah's it.
so.
Come on now, Rob. For real, y'all talk to me now. Come on.
Your star player has every decision goes through them right now. They just, oh, I can leave. You tell me I ain't got no say so? Okay, cool. I can leave.
Mm.
uh,
You didn't even say it depend on the program. You said they sitting down with the star player to say this who we thinking.
Yeah.
right.
Does that happen in South Carolina? And if so, then who is it that they sit? Who is it that they would sit down with?
How you?
Raven.
Mm.
Raven's not your star player, but she's your leader, and everybody respects her. So they're gonna listen to Raven. But I'm not saying that Big Drip's doing that. I'm saying that's what's going on up there.
Yeah, you have your captain, your student leadership
Yeah.
on that. You want to because they're the ones that got to play with them.
Yep.
So you just
It's one thing
it's
says about it, it's a vetting process going on. Whether you want to agree or disagree about it, there's a vetting process. If you
Oh no, I don't.
come,
I don't. I had no idea. This is why I was
yeah,
asking, because see, what I want to know is how much is college like the pros? Because I think very much so in the pros, you ask a LeBron, you ask a Anthony Edwards, like you run that by them. So I want to know at the college level, now that we paying players, how involved are they? This because they
yeah,
have a
oh
brand tied to the school as well. Flauget is
yeah,
is Kim is Flauget sitting next to Kim saying this what we doing next?
No, I don't think that's the conversation they having, but
No,
I
I'm
don't
okay.
think
Okay,
that's the conversation they
I don't
having.
want. I don't. Okay, I don't want to be specific to them, but players of that caliber, are they sitting with that head coach and saying, or do they have their representation sitting with that coach or waiting for that call to say, "Hey,
right,
this is what
right.
we thinking. This is the move we making. This is who we've invited. This is what we see. This is who's interested." And then,
So here's what's going on. You have a lot of people that's already in back channel a lot of these schools to give their interest, right? Whether it ain't the player, it's always somebody that's either representing the player or a family member. One of those two things have happened to back channel to a school that they're going to, right? So you're gonna feel interest from that coach. What that assistant coach gonna do is they just gonna put a bug in a star player, like, hey, what you see, you know what I'm saying, what you feeling.
mhm.
If the coach, I mean, if the player really feeling that person, you're gonna start seeing them like each other stuff on some type of social media or comment on something on their social media, and you're gonna be like, what the hell going on? Before you know it, they committed to that school.
Got you. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, interesting. Interesting. Coach Coleman, anything you want to offer in that area?
Well, the time, the end. I mean, Rob said it all. Is that it's a vetting process. You got a core that you want to keep, and then the player that you're adding. How does that complement the financial situation you have and the talent situation you have? So you're looking at all these angles compared to pre NIL. So it is very. So you're very intentional. Like, so let's go to adding Dowda. Dowda didn't disrupt them. You know what I mean? If she fit in, if she fit in with the flow, whatever crumbs she gets from the NIL table is fine with her because she wanted to be out of the situation. I'm just using that as an example for South Carolina fans. And so therefore it fit talent wise, she has another year. It fits. They can work with the development. She'll have something to offer on the court, and then financially, it fits in. It's not stretching and challenging them as a program. They can make it work in that aspect. So
Okay, so then,
yeah,
okay, guys. Wait, coaches. So let's take it a level back. let's take it a level back, cause y'all blowing my mind now. Okay, so
mhm,
here you are sitting down in my house trying to get me to come to your school. I'm I'm
mhm.
I'm Flage. I'm Michaela Williams. I'm Michaela Williams, or whoever, right? And I say, well, I mean, yeah, but do I get at that time the opportunity to say, well, yeah, but I need you to go close so and so and so and so before I come. You got to be able to bring these players too out my class. We
It
a
it,
package deal. How
it
does that
depends.
work? Can
It
at that
depends
level?
on the player, right?
Okay.
Because some players, it's a family member. Like, you got to bring my brother, my cousin with me, or my sister, or something like that, right? You gotta.
No. I mean, can I say I'll come, but I need for you to go get Hannah her doggo. If you get Hannah to agree, I'll sign.
Yeah, but you would already have to have that like the players would already have that conversation of, all right, we looking to
Together.
go here.
You got
Because they already talking to you, you got to go ahead and throw that in for them to hit me. It's got to be some realm
got
like
you.
that. It ain't gonna
Okay.
be like out of left field of like, hey, you got to go get this. No, they would have the players would already have been talking to each other about playing together, and then trying to find the right team where it makes the most sense, where they can all capitalize off of it.
Like Kateria and Angel were
They got
already
to know that Hannah's gonna say yeah. Hannah's gonna if
Yeah,
you when you ask Hannah, she's gonna say yeah because we already know we're a package deal.
yeah, yeah.
right.
Got you. Okay. Okay.
And so that's leverage because room and you gotta make room. And be honest with you, I don't know how many times that works in your favor. I think with an Angel and Kateria, I think that's one of the rare percentages that it works and it turns into a national championship. I don't have any case study or any statistics, but I don't know how many times packages deals. Rob, what's your thoughts? I don't know how many times a package deal
It
really
works. So it works more in the football and bigger sports than basketball because it's hard to get a package deal in basketball unless they didn't grew up with them and everybody and their mama knows the worst kept secret that they trying to hoop together. In football, you see it a lot. You see it on a lot on the teams where, like, hey, listen, if my boy can't come play with me or my cousin can't come, I ain't coming. It happens a lot, but in basketball, it's hard.
right. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I thought it.
Now they would have to play on the same AAU team for you to pull something like that off. If they play on the same AAU team, you got a chance in basketball. If they didn't, it's gonna be kind of hard to pull that one off.
Like I always thought, if Camilla and Raven had came out in the same year, that Camilla and Raven would have been a package deal immediately to South Carolina. Like you wouldn't have saw Camilla go to Syracuse. I don't know that to be true. I just felt like because they had played together in AAU, if they'd came out at the same year, they would have both been at South Carolina from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean that plays a part.
Well, I think also Camilla was on the up north on the East Coast. That's how she got to Syracuse based on where her programs at. So I think they were kind of trying to intention what we call stash her talent so they can get her to Syracuse. If that makes sense. It's an old school,
Well,
old
Raven and Camilla
method.
play AAU ball together though.
Right, but
And
I'm
I
just
believe
saying.
and Camilla had been offered, but I thought Camilla came out of Tennessee too. But I get what you're saying. They tried to keep her on the Syracuse part. But I also thought that Camilla said that originally she had kind of wanted to go to South Carolina, but she was kind of nervous about going there.
I
Right.
mean, you gotta as a girl, it kind of is more vulnerable for them to go to the same school as an AAU teammate because of comfortability, right? Especially if they go into an area where they not familiar, where this their first time going to it. It happens, but it's much easier for kids to go to different schools on AAU teams now because of they're going to more prep schools. There's more prep schools available.
Yep.
So now these kids are now disassociating themselves from wherever they coach or wherever they come from to go to these prep schools. And so it's making it much easier for them to make decisions to go to separate schools, and they don't have to be a package deal now.
Okay. What's I don't remember what school Randy Moss was supposed to go to before college. It seemed like it was before Marshall. It seemed like everybody was after Randy. He could have went anywhere. Was it Miami? Randy, I don't remember. I don't remember. MJ, you got me with that one. I don't remember where Moss was
That was
going.
great. That was a great example, though. Great example.
Camilla didn't think she was worthy enough to be a Gamecock. I knew she said something like that.
Those things happen though. Like 1 year you might not be worthy enough to be here, but that next year we might need you. We might need you, depending on what happens.
That makes
Seasons
sense. That
change.
makes sense.
Seasons change.
Coach Coleman, did you have any any thoughts on Jada Williams to Iowa State? So from
Um,
Arizona to Iowa State with with Audie.
I mean, my thing, I think it would be a great fit. They don't have any speed at the point guard position, so and if we can facilitate and have the shooting and reduce the pressure from Emily Ryan and Addie Brown, so I think that you can shift Addie around to more like a three, and that would be interesting to see. I would move an Emily down to a three and see how that looks. But we'll see what they do. I feel like it's time for that coach to move on.
Okay, so now I got another question, coaches. How much how much power does a top player have? Can a top player get rid of a coach? Talk about it. You
The
didn't have to laugh out
boosters,
loud like that.
the
Can't wait to hear
boosters,
your answer.
the boosters is the one who controls the coach going or not the players. The boosters do.
So, but is there and how much of a relationship does a top player have with the boosters? Do they really know the boosters? Do they spend time with the
Depends.
boosters?
It depends on the school. If they got something that's dealing with one of their companies that's helping them generate money, they got a lot to say so.
So we was talking about University of Florida earlier,
Right.
right?
So the quarterback was saved the head coach job because the quarterback flat out said that the backup quarterback who the boosters wanted to start, they flat out told him if the head coach ain't there, I'm leaving. So that's what
Wow.
saved his job because the booster was gonna
Okay.
fire him
Got it.
until like he came out in the newspaper and flat out said if y'all fire the head coach, I'm transferring. So the players they have so much they can control, but it's really up to the boosters though. Because the
Okay.
boosters are the
Okay.
ones that fire these coaches, not the if the boosters feel like you ain't getting the job done, the AD don't got to do nothing. All they got to do is shut up and write the check, because the boosters gonna be the ones who's paying it.
Okay, all right. So it's still the booster. So it ain't like the top player can go in there and be like, "Yo, coach ain't running me like how I want him to run me. Get him up out of here."
The
Okay,
boosters are the most powerful people to college.
okay, got you. So I see we talking in the chat about some of these players that's out here. Yeah. So y'all think Olivia will be next to the Big 12? Olivia to Oklahoma with Chavez? Really?
I don't know if I can do this.
I could see Olivia Miles doing something like that, but I don't think she's gonna go there. You
Seems
talking
like
about
Olivia would be better at TCU, huh?
you talking about two kids that don't play defense in the backcourt?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Better at TCU.
Better at TCU. Okay.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Now TCU got about 3-6 kids more on their squad, so I don't know what they gonna look like.
Yeah, I mean, Olivia doesn't want to be part of SEC. She's not
Oh
not
no,
built for that.
she's not an SEC kid at all. If she goes to SEC, that'd have been the most. Whoever her representative need to be fired immediately.
Now I saw somebody posted Olivia maybe was leaving because Notre Dame doesn't do graduate transfers or something like that. But she wouldn't be a graduate transfer. She already go there, right? I didn't understand the logic, and has anybody heard anything like that?
Now there is. All right, so one thing about
GA.
college right now,
Don't do GA.
if you want that extra year of eligibility, sometimes it forces where you have to transfer. That happens a lot in football. Like if the NCAA grants you another year to play, you got to transfer from the school that you at. Like they do that. That is a thing.
Do we
I
know
don't know
that to be Olivia Miles' situation?
I don't know that for Olivia Miles situation because I ain't really looked into it, but I knew for her to be transferring, if she's transferring as a graduate, then that's the reason why they're going to grant her an extra year. She has to transfer. A redshirt year is you can have a redshirt year and still stay at your college, but if she was trying to gain another year of eligibility and she put in a waiver, the only way she can get the extra year is she has to transfer, and that
Okay,
rule
so
happens a lot in football.
does anybody know, is Olivia on a redshirt year this year?
When did Olivia come
Y'all know in
in?
the chat, let me know.
When did Olivia come in? 2020? And she came in 2020. She still got a COVID year.
I think her COVID year would be done this year. I thought. I could be wrong.
If her freshman year was 2020, then she still had a COVID year. So she either used her COVID year or a redshirt year. One of
She
those.
used a medical red shirt, right?
Yeah. So that means she still had a COVID year left in. But if they granted her another year, then she has to leave. Yeah.
She enrolled early. Thank you. Okay, so okay, and you say COVID years are over this year. Okay, so Olivia got exposed, and so did Hannah. In what sense? So Olivia got exposed on defense. Did her coach do her a disservice by sitting her down, alternating her for offense defense this late in her career? That's a question for both coaches.
Yeah, because you need her out there for offense. So you got to come. Here's the thing, you got to come up with a scheme and help her to protect it because you need her because you actually need her to be production for you. So you got to come up with a different defensive scheme to protect her. So I'm not bashing Ivy, but it is a coaching staff responsibility. Is when you have a talent like that, we got to keep them on the floor. So we got to come up with a scheme where it's not where you can decrease the damage that's done offensively and get it back on the offensive side. So it's there. It's not going to change. She's not going to prove this season. You know what you're getting, but I don't think you can afford to not have her on the floor. What's your thoughts, Rob? Yeah, it's tough.
She was just never in shape from the get go. That's all like that. Her body, she played, but she never really got into a real basketball shape to where she can move them puppies. And on defense, it's about effort. How much effort you put in. And she just, for me, every time I seen her defensively, she just wasn't engaged. Like that's just, I don't know if it was what they was trying to get her to do defensively, or whether that's just who she is as a player. But defensively, she just never was engaged. She would rather them be in the zone and play man because she didn't want to guard nobody. So she just did it. It's like she did a disservice for herself, but also coming back off injuries, you know what I'm saying? It takes time. Maybe that's what she needs to do, was just get away from the situation she was at, where she could spend this offseason working on her body to transform her body for the WNBA, what she probably didn't have to do last summer. But you gotta realize it's a lot of pressure for her this year, knowing that she had opportunity to come out to the draft. It's always gonna be pressure on the kid, and she just didn't live up to the pressure.
Okay, and I see y'all saying Hannah got sunned by HBL coaches. HBL, did Hannah have a bad game against HBL? Or is Hannah a bad matchup with HBL? Did she get sunned? Thoughts on that?
Or how about a bad game plan?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's most. It was the game plan. Go ahead, Rob. I agree.
I ain't got nothing to say about it. It's just bad game plan.
Okay, because I see Shanti saying HBL exposure on defense bad, and so did NC State. Hey, listen, Zoe Brooks, listen.
I mean,
Zoe Brooks
but my
had
thing
a great game against HBL. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Let's go.
So here's the thing, right? So yes, we call face guard is you need to stop somebody. Somebody shouldn't cook you off of 1 or 2 dribbles, and if they do, then you should have a good enough defense where there's help there. And so Notre Dame is not great at help side defense because how they have to already be in help on the perimeter, if that makes sense. They're already in help, so they're not in a straight up man to man. They're in a matchup man, zone matchup man to man type of situation because they know they have that. So, but the thing is, you have to make adjustments within your scheme. Right. And so, there's times where TCU is running a brush screen or a handoff, and HVL is going to cook around the corner. She's going to cook back door, and so you got to have a plan. Where's your help? And that's the coaching staff to do that. I don't, that's it.
Whoever the defensive coordinator or whoever coaches the defense for Notre Dame need to be fired. All right, so that's the first position right there. Second thing is for anybody that thinks, Hannah's a defensive player, that's just something that she's not. But she's going to give more effort than Olivia is. And that's why I didn't agree with how Hannah got the Defensive Player of the Year award. That just confused me altogether with the ACC. Like, what we watching?
Well, I think it's exciting moments with Hannah. I'm not justifying. I'm saying these people are excited steals, excited moments, a steal and behind the back pass to Olivia. So, it seems like some awards people earn off of excitement of a play, and they don't look at the consistency of.
Yeah, I know they're not watching. It's because she led the ACC in steals, right? I know they're not watching because Citron was a better defender than them two combined. So I know they're not watching. It just some things just logical. I'm like, man, what are we watching? What are we looking at? Because Hannah is one of them. She's an off-ball guard that's gonna dig in there and try to get steals. That's what she's gonna do. Her job is to come in there, and if you put the ball on the ground, is rake the ball from you. That's her job, right? So you're gonna get away with stuff, but she's also gonna pick up a lot of fouls doing silly stuff like that. Because now it's teaching her, if you get on a fast break, my job is I'm trying to back tap it. I'm trying to do anything not to be able to play defense for a long period of time. That's what they're teaching her to do. So she's gonna get cooked, but she would have got cooked by a lot of guards if people understood how to attack Notre Dame. They could have did that all year.
Nah, I agree.
It's a lack of effort.
Yeah.
I can't even blame that they're slow on defense. A lot of that is just a lack of effort. Like it's the effort and scheme, right? You can scheme a defense to make your players look way better. Notre Dame just don't got no coaches that can understand schemes schematically of the defense side, and that's where they got killed at, and they got exposed.
Right.
Okay, we got at some point we got to put some onus back on the coaches getting exposed for their game planning.
And this is that's what I wanted to talk about, because I see everybody saying like they started to fall apart from NC State on. Notre Dame didn't look like the same team that showed up and played USC that first time, right? I mean, when they played, right? They didn't look like that team. And so I want to know, when we're looking at these teams, and we talked about like telltale signs of like when somebody's finna get that shake your hand, are there telltale signs when you're looking at a team when you can tell like, yo, this is there's something going on in the locker room that's spilling onto the court versus the coach lost the locker room or a bad coaching scheme? Like when we're looking at this, did Ivy have the locker room? That's the first thing I'm asking when I'm looking at how Notre Dame fell apart and the way this thing is shaking out with all of these people hitting this transfer portal. Did she lose the locker room?
I'll let you go, Coach. I'll let you go on that one first.
I mean, yeah, there are signs. I've been in her shoes, and I think I shared that last night, that there's times where I had to accept I lost it. It may have been my fault, or I just wasn't a good fit for the program, and then there may be some other backdoor politics going on. And so if you look at the beginning of the season of the performance to February, yeah, it's some concerns that it might be something that's outside of the X's and O's that's taken away from the on-court performance. That's all I can say. Yes, it looks like it, but we don't know what's going on. But I hope it's respectfully resolved and not all aired out on social media, just because I'm a coach and I know how difficult it can be for someone and all parties involved. So,
for me, I'm gonna say disconnect from the team, just the players to the coaches, right? You can see like the frustration of the bad body language on Hannah with certain players, and the way she at times distances herself away from coaches during timeouts. It's bad business. I mean, it looks nasty on TV because ESPN puts the spotlight on them, and sometimes that's what gets all this struck up in these conversations, and these conversations that shouldn't be happening to have are being had because ESPN is catching, and now you're getting to see it all in the public eyes of like, oh yeah, something ain't right about this. Because you're seeing it right there for your eyes. Ain't nothing being hidden. Ain't nothing that's like, all right, cool, we can move on from it. Now we gotta talk about it because now you done cursed out one of your coaches about this player, and we didn't read every word that you done said, and ESPN got it. So you can't say you didn't do it.
Are there times when it's the assistant coaches? Are there times when the head coach needs to look at, yo, I need to move these assistant coaches out? It's not the players, it's the assistant coaches. It's the way.
Yeah,
they're carrying out my. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Here's my thing. You always look to elevate. A lot of times, too many programs stay stagnant because they don't elevate their coaches around them. And it's not a knock on a coach. It's not a knock on a head coach. But sometimes you keep hearing the same voice over and over again. You start tuning stuff out. You need some freshness. And your assistant coaches are the ones who's game planning. It ain't a lot of times. It ain't the head coach. They just they're overseeing it. The assistant coach is doing all the work. And it could be one of them disconnects where the assistant coaches and the players just didn't align on, game planning, or the players are not watching film like they're supposed to. And that's why a lot of these things are happening.
Yeah, you got to be student of the game for sure. With the assistant coaches, it's very difficult. It's very challenging to find a loyal assistant coach at a Division I, whether mid-major or whatever. It's a cutthroat business. So the very people you think that may have your back and supports the philosophy of your coaching and the philosophy of your program, they're always, looking in this business and looking for the window to be the next best whatever they looking to be. And so, and I say that just in terms of that's the way it is. And I'm not saying every assistant coach is a snake on the court, but what I'm saying is it's very challenging to have all that fall in place for head coaches. You always find an op somewhere in your program. That's the reality of it.
Can you fire an assistant coach at any time?
Yes.
Yes.
But Coach Coleman, I agree with you 1,000%. And you better hope that coach that's a snake ain't one of the key people in your recruiting, because
Right.
they will take them players with them.
That's right. That's
they
right.
will.
Wow. Okay. Wow. I mean, to think that I got assistant coaches out there that's supposed to be representing me that may be stacking up players to meet them where they going is crazy.
That's the reality of it.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it. I
That's
mean,
that's
especially if you got an assistant coach that has at least 5 or 7 years under their belt, they looking for the hot seat.
Yeah.
They want to
now
be in
I
the
don't
hot
know
seat.
if I want all of them head coaches that I suggested go be assistant coaches on other people's staff going to be assistant coaches on other people's staff because they still looking to try to get back into being head coaches. You know what I mean? So
I says, think about it like this. You know how Johnny just went and took that job, right?
right.
Well, he's more likely going to be on the road recruiting, right? You think he recruiting for the school that he at right now or the school he about to go to next?
That's what I'm saying.
Like
You talking about
that's
Johnny,
literally
but
what's happening.
I think you talking about Johnny. Johnny's a she. You talking about Johnny from Auburn, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry, she. I don't know why I
Yeah,
said
she's a she.
Yeah.
But and man, listen. So here's the other thing. Now you know this conversation going forever because now I want to know. I'm that coach. I got fired, but now I got the next hottest thing. Hey, they'll come wherever I go. Am I interested to you now? Can I use that in my bargaining for a job? Right? Like, if that makes sense. Like, can I go to a school and be like, well, if I become the head coach here, I got the number one recruit coming out of school in my pocket. They going wherever I go.
I mean, most schools already know that, right? Especially when the school is involved, the players talk, so they kind of got a connection on like who talked to who, right? And so that part you don't really have to worry about because you kind of could tell who's connected to who based upon who gets the job. And that's why I said the boosters run everything. Because guess what? The boosters are the one who's paying the players. So if they coming on a visit and they talking to so and so and so and so behind the scenes and they parents talking to the parents telling the boosters like, hey, this is what we want if we come here. You know what I'm saying? And so if that's part of the plan,
Oh,
it's part
I
of the
got you.
plan.
I got you. I got you. So then that's when that coach get that tap on the shoulder. Like, it's really been cool. You ain't even really did nothing wrong, but you
Yeah.
just ain't really who the next star that's coming here wants. That's a
Right.
cold game right there.
I think I just wanted to go back to what Mondo said. Head coach is the hype man and figure is the hype person and figurehead. Sometimes, that coach the head coach on the college level is expected to have a rapport on the college campus, navigate. When I mean that, for students, officer, different staff, not just in the sports department.
Yep.
Also expected to have a relationship in the community that the school sets in. Also have a relationship with their staff, their coaching staff, a relationship with their players, and their important people in the players' lives, or the power brokers in their players' lives. If that makes sense, because they're still young adults, and so
And the boosters.
head coach is not the power broker for those players. The power broker are the people that encourage them to say yes to your school, and so then you put together a program, a defensive philosophy, an offensive philosophy, how we're going to go about developing that. So a very high level coach is going to be involved and then delegate. And then that's when you should have a very capable assistant that could put their sauce on that area of their expertise, where you don't have to you don't have to keep watching over them, because that's why you hired them. But the vision should always come from the head coach, and then you still got to be a fundraiser. Even in this NIL time, you still got to go out and raise funds and advocate
Market
for
the
athletic
team.
department, for women's sport. We're talking about women's basketball, for women's sports. So
Wait. Raise funds from where? Just investors?
yeah, you still got to raise
Got
funds.
you.
Yeah.
Okay,
You still
okay.
got to do that regardless. Yeah.
I got you.
That's part of the job.
Yeah,
I got you.
regardless whether it's NIL, you still got to have a certain amount each year that you're contributing.
As long as you got that minimum in the bank, they ain't gonna trip with you.
Right.
It don't matter where it comes from. You gotta have the minimum.
Okay, so yeah, if it came from the revenue sharing, if it came from me winning the championship, I can go out and campaign a little bit less for them dollars, as long as I'd have hit my whatever and brought my money. Although if I win the national championship, they should be calling me.
Yeah, it's in your contract.
some connection.
You know what the dollar amount is. It's in your contract. It states exactly like how much money. So they can't be like, well, you got to raise this amount, but then next you got to raise this. It's already in your contract of what the minimum what you got to bring. So, that's in there.
Got it. Wow. What a conversation. What a conversation. It went so many different places. I want to be respectful of everybody's time. I don't know how we doing on time, guys.
We good. Let's rock. What you got?
Great
All right,
collab show today. Great collab.
So yeah, we still collaborate because I mean it's just so much. It's so many different levels to this, and so I guess now that I'm understanding that you know where all of these different people have interests, right? Where everybody has these different levels of interest. And like you said, you have the sponsors.
I think now with sponsors, quick, to get
Oh yeah,
sponsors, the money got to make sense. So they have to have a future return. So when people come to youth sports and look for sponsors, well, if you're not a high level program, there's no potential return. So why is somebody's going to sponsor you if you're not exposing their business to potential return? And I think just on the basic level, people have to understand a sponsor is coming because you're exposing their business and there's a potential return for them, and they're going to get a return on their sponsorship. And so whatever level you on, whether it's youth, high school, or college, I just want to share with everybody, you may already know this, that a sponsor is still in some form of fashion looking to get a return from what they invested into your program. And that's based off the numbers you can expose their business to of potential customers and or clients.
It's just like being a YouTube content creator. If you get a sponsor, guess what? They're trying to. How can you get them more revenue in their pocket so they can keep sponsoring you? That's all it is.
Exactly.
I think we throw sponsor around so much. It's actually you got to do work after you get that sponsor. You got to work to make that relationship.
Oh yeah, it's a contract to come with it. You got to dot some I's and cross some T's. Yes, because I'm trying to get to some. So I got a basic question. I would like to understand the difference in responsibilities between head coach, associate head coach, and assistant coach. What is this associate head coach?
Basically, you just run a show when the head coach ain't around. That's basically all it really is. I mean, the head coach is the CEO, and then you're the vice president. That's really what it is. You really want to look at it. That's the easy way.
So basically, you the one that's in town. You the one that's in charge when the head coach is off or doing something else.
When the head coach got obligations where they gotta be flying to a different state or going somewhere where they're gonna be out of the building. You pretty much the person that everybody gonna come to.
So and then other than that, your responsibilities would be like another assistant coach. Is that correct?
It depends.
It depends on the program.
You might be the one running the program over the head coach. It just depends on what program, who it is, who's in charge. Right. Because the associate head coach might have more knowledge than the head coach. It all depends case by university.
When you look at like Lisa Boyer and what's the lady's name at UConn?
Daly.
Her name. Who?
Is it Daly?
Yeah, I think so.
Coach Daly, I think. Last name Daly.
Coach Daly, is it Jan Daly, something like that? I mean, been with them so long. Are they running the program? Would you say they more experienced? Would you like when you look at those type of associate head coaches? And I'm asking that to say, could Ivy have helped herself or with a better associate head coach versus changing out assistants? Could that associate head coach have been? Could she have made a better decision there to be able to keep some stuff together, if that makes sense?
I'll say this: it'd be more of the assistant coaches than it would be associate head coach, because associate head coach is just like you, right? They just the CEO. Okay. You just report information to them, so they're not really guiding or training or developing for the most part. They're making sure that everything goes as fluid as it's supposed to. So it'd be more of assistant coaches that you'd be looking for, that you want to upgrade.
Okay.
And in Boyer's sense, she came with the wisdom and the knowledge.
Kim
And
Davis, something
usually
like
when you go for associate head coach on that level, you're going with someone that has more years behind them than in front of them, and you're just using them as a wealth of knowledge and resource. They know how. Usually at that, I'm looking if I'm thinking associate head coach, I'm thinking somebody that give me insight on how to navigate through the waters of peopleology, through
that.
managing, situations on the team, to managing situations on the staff, looking at X's and O's. We growing together in the X's and O's as well.
Mm-hmm.
Bouncing things off, and they've seen a lot more game situations than I have yet to see.
Okay.
When I think of associate head coach,
Got you. Okay. Let's go back into this. Let's jump back into this transfer portal, NIL. I just thought about this. So I signed all these NIL deals. I got these people that I'm doing business with. Nike, Chris Daly is the name, I believe. Thank you, Mondo. What happens when am I notifying all of these people that I'm doing business with that I'm getting ready to get into the transfer portal? And do I run the risk of losing some NIL deals when I jump in the portal? Because if that makes sense, because some of this money go away because I'm getting in the portal.
The only deals going away is
always
your
a
local.
risk. Go ahead, Rob.
I'm gonna say the only deals that's truly going away is your local deals. When you go into the portal, your national deals, that's gonna stay the same. But you're gonna leave that in your representative hand. Like whoever is representing you, they gonna notify them. Because it ain't. And one thing about it, once you hit that portal, it ain't no secret, right? Once you enter your name, there's no secret because the person that enters your name, they gonna inform the head coach. They're gonna inform people. So the only deals that you're really losing at your risk are your local deals. Any national deals, you're not losing.
And I wonder that because I'm wondering if the national deal is also associated with the program that you're associated with. Like, yeah, because you're going to be running out with the University of Florida every Saturday. Yeah, I want to be tied to that. Now that you're running out with Delaware State,
But you're still going to draw people to Delaware State because you got that deal. The brand is you're the brand, and the followers you bring, your social media, and your coverage, the followers that you have. So the thing is, it's like when Della Don went to Delaware, the attendance went up. So just think if NIL was around when Della Don, she would have made some more money for them and more money for her because games were more. There's more people at the games because Della Don was at Delaware, University of Delaware. The Blue Hens, like what's a Blue Hen? You know what I mean? But it happens. So it's the brand. The brand is the part, right? The skill, right? If you can play, they will find you. Just like fans, if you can play, they want to come see you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what team you're. So you're in that top 10, top 20, top 50 prospect, and you playing like that. People want to see you play.
But also keep in mind, when you sign an NIL deal, there's a certain time length of whatever that deal is. So is it a year, 2 years, 3 years? Is it 6 months? So a lot of stuff you might not even be running a risk of if the NIL deal is up anyway. Which more than likely it is if you're transferring. You're not transferring with a major NIL deals. You're just not. So it has to be something crazy for you to be transferring with major deals.
Okay. So but off the court, off the field stuff can always cancel out an NIL deal?
Yes.
Okay. So there are character clauses in those deals as well that these kids need to be aware of and know.
I mean, you're representing my brand, so you're not just representing the college brand. You represent my brand. So if you go do something stupid, I'm not finna reward you for being stupid. I gotta take that away from you.
Hey, some of them act like they don't know that, Rob. That's why I wanted to get it on tape. Somebody other than me saying it. I need for people to understand. Like when you have this money, you have to still act in a responsible manner. You can't be out here just wilding out.
Right.
Like,
but says that's
there's an expectation.
But says that's how you know big money is small money.
Right, it's a character clause.
Oh, it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people with little banks that think they got big banks, Rob. There's a lot of. There's a lot of.
And that's why they acting the way they acting, and that's why they losing money. That's all it is. It's big money, small money, right? The people with big money ain't getting in trouble. It's the people with the small money that thinking they got big money get in trouble. Come on now.
Hey, I agree.
Got to clip that. You got to clip that one for Rob. That was a good one.
I don't know. Okay, so Biggest risk with the transfer portal. What's the biggest risk?
Not getting picked
With
up.
a kid going into the transfer portal.
I think the biggest risk is players understanding their value. You get some players that come in and think they're more valuable. They're owed more money than what they are. Like I think that's the biggest miss, right? But like I always say, if you go into the portal with no plan, that's on you. It's on you. Like don't go into the portal without a plan, or you gonna die in the portal.
What does dying in the portal look like so people understand?
You in a portal, you never get out of the portal. You just gonna be a free agent, just out there in the ocean until somebody decide to come relieve you from out the ocean.
Can I go back to school and have my schooling still paid for, but
No,
not play sports? It's over.
it depends on the university because now you're
Okay.
talking about the university discretion because
Oh, hey guys,
academics
somebody's
is
at
that
my door. I'll be right back. Sorry.
Okay.
I wouldn't expect. I'll be right back,
So you
guys.
said,
Sorry.
Rob, it depends on the university.
yeah. Because if you try to come back and play and you already didn't and you didn't, it depends on if you burn a bad bridge with the coach. If you burn a bad bridge, you ain't coming back. Right? But if you have a good relationship and you just out there testing your market for NIL deals, they might let you come back. But for the most part, when kids hit the portal, you rarely see kids take their name out the portal and return back to the school they was in.
Mondo on the heater today, talking about purgatory. Yeah, if B Media, Dundee, done by D Media. That's a great point about KK with Notre Dame being in good standings, having a good relationship, having that sit down conversation with your coach, as Rob already mentioned. Handling your chickens. As Mark. So I think that's important, having an open conversation and keeping and see. I think the thing, Rob. I think it isn't the player's responsibility to have a good relationship with the coach as well the coach to establish a relationship. It works both ways, and because you don't know what you might want to try something to see, and they'll support you and say, yeah, if it doesn't work for you, we'll still work with you here. So it's good to have sound advice on your business.
I mean, I would say this: the best thing to do is to sit down with your coach and really talk it out, right? Because your coach knows somebody, right? You might not be a good fit at this school, but they got a buddy that's on somebody else's roster that's looking to say that, hey, I got this kid in, and you could be there. So keep in mind of that. If you got a kid that's in college and they looking to transfer, please maintain a relationships with whoever recruited you in the process. And be cool with them because you never know. You might have to go to that school because it didn't work out at the school you thought it was going to work out at.
Right. You're right. You never know when you had to come full circle, right? Who you going to lean on? Who you have to lean on to? What you have to come back to? So it's a good life lesson for our athletes out there. Yes, I want the bag, the NIL, but build relationships because you might have to get a reference recommendation. You might have to go back to something you didn't think you had to come back to. And so hopefully that opportunity is still there by having a good relationship with that coach. So as Rob says, so it's the people skills, communication. We didn't say put on your fake face. We said have a good relationship, a good understanding when you stand with each other and how this relationship. How many in the portal now? That'll do the home. How many did you get a count, Rob?
It's over 1,100, but Notre Dame just another kid just hit a portal from Notre Dame, Kaylee Watson, and she got a do not tag on her.
Okay.
Do not contact. Yep.
Okay. I think today's Wednesday. Tomorrow, I think Thursday we got pickups. I know that what I'm going to do, what I'm gradually doing now between today and Friday is just going down ACC, Big 10, Big 12, and SEC, seeing what the activity is, and also how many 2025 commits each school has. Because don't you think, Rob, that plays a point why some people are transferring out because they know commits are coming in. Do you think that plays a part in transfer portal sometimes, Rob?
Commitment, yes. Commitments definitely play a part. Distributor minutes play a part. So there's a lot of things that play a part. But the biggest thing is going to be the minutes distributed. Like if they know it's a freshman that's probably going to take some minutes from you, they hit in the portal.
So you get in the portal, right? If you got 3 commits coming in, and 2 of those are your position, or even one of them you could deal with. Say 2 of them is your position. Then isn't that the message? The coach
it's hard. It's hard to deal with. So right now, when it looks at the P4s, the ACC got 53 players. The Big 10 has 39. The Big 12 has 48. The Big East has 30, and the SEC has 46
in the portal.
In the portal right now.
Okay.
Now the ACC just added about 3 more girls since this happened. So they're up to about 56 now.
Okay. I mean, because we know Arkansas had a definite 3. Well, no, I'm taking it back. In the SEC, 1, 2, 3, 4, they had a definite 5 that probably could hopefully get another opportunity.
Ole Miss had 7 players hit the portal from that team, so it's some spots opportunity there.
Right. And then Florida didn't have any. I didn't see Florida have anybody, but they have 4 commits. What do you think about this? Florida has 4 commits. What are your thoughts on this? They have one from Australia, 1 from Italy, 1 from JUCO, and then 1 true first-year student coming in.
They're gonna have some kids. They're gonna have some kids hit the portal. This is because they were still playing. They was playing in that
the NIT.
Yeah. So because they just ended, they 48 hours is on the clock now. So they got till tomorrow. Where you're gonna see kids hit the portal. So a lot of this stuff, that's what I said about a championship game. We should know you shouldn't see really any major noise of people hitting the portal. It's because there's still a lot of teams playing, right? We got 3 games tonight. So the potential of 3 more teams getting knocked out tonight, that's another round of kids hitting the portal. So that's why you haven't seen that's how you haven't seen kids that was going to hit the portal announced yet, just due to the fact that some of the schools are still playing. And even like some of the kids that's going to some of these schools haven't announced that they committed. It's because some of the schools are still playing. So they just out of respect of, playing, they don't want to say they committed.
So for instance, what do you think of when you look at Kentucky? All they have is 1 2025 commitment, and then they have 3 in the portal. And Cassidy Rowe just said this week she is not coming back.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that when you only see 1 2025 commit for a team like Kentucky, and then you see that many people in the portal? What's your thought? What does that look like is happening there? It's still got to give it time to develop, or what?
With Coach Kenny, it's about him finding the roster balance, right? When you look at what's leaving, you're losing your star player, but you still got your center there, and you lost a true freshman center, who thought they were gonna play more and end up transferring. That hurts. But you to bring in 1 player, that means that they got some work to do. So some players coming in for sure. But it's just about roster construction when it comes down to Kentucky, just finding the right pieces that's gonna fit the program.
Right. So we're gonna respond. We got a lot of action talking about Coach Ivy, and they say she should leave. It's it's a wrap. I mean, but in the coaching position, sometimes you have to see things through, even though you know what the conclusion may be. The outcome may not be in your favor, because that's what you want. That's what you teach and preach to your students. And 2, it's you got to uphold your contract unless there's just something where it's life threatening or detrimental to you personally. So I think, before we jump to conclusions, let this thing play out and see what pans out. Sometimes the transfer portal, when people jump in ship, is like Transformers, more than meet the eye. We don't know. All we go is by upside assumptions. And what a thing is that social media can magnify something more than it is, or make it worse for somebody. And so, but that is the privilege having social media. So, what's your thoughts, Rob? But I mean, it's coming from a coach's heart. You just gotta have to stay with the program until you finalize and exit, things of that nature.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming from a coach's point of view. You always look at the game differently, and you always gonna care for your compadres because it's like, dang, I remember me being in a situation like that, and I know how that feel. So for Ivy, I don't think she's gonna get fired or step down because I don't think it's a job opening. If she had a job opening where she had a guarantee where she can go to, I think she leaves, and then everything is good. But there's nowhere for her to go, and like so when people be like she needs to go, it's like where can she go? Like there's no openings for her to go, so make it make sense. So because she's gonna need a job, she's gonna want a job, and she's not gonna just want to go anywhere. And so those are the things that I look at when you talk about like an Ivy in that situation.
Okay. I mean, why do you think in the chat, our chat fan is so concerned? What do you think pops out from a fan perspective where they feel like, you know, uh, South Bend is crashing, you know?
Because they're used to a certain standard, and you don't see that with Notre Dame when it comes to recruiting, when it comes to the guards, right? They used to having big time guards that can score, that can lead them to winning games, and you don't see that. You've seen a dysfunctional team this year that they haven't seen. So it just comes with the price to pay with when you have a traditional of having good guards. That's just what it is. So I think Ivy should be fine, but what they're doing right now is what needs to be done, and that's clearing out the roster and redoing this thing over. And you
And
got
that can
Hannah.
look scary, right? At first,
Yes.
you got some time. When's the final? When does the portal close? In another what? It's like 2 months. So
No, the portal closed on the 22nd, so
okay,
you only got 30 days now.
30 days. Okay. So April, we're done with the portal. Is that what you saying?
Well, you could be in the portal forever, but you have to enter by the 22nd. So
Entered by the
yeah,
26th. Okay.
as long as you enter by the 22nd, you good. Now whether you want to commit and sign to a school, it's pretty much on you where you want to go from there. But you have to enter. You can stay in the portal as long as you want to. You just got to enter by a certain time period, or you ain't gonna. You just stuck where you at.
Right. Right. So I mean,
But
so we'll
I say
see. Will
this:
she go portal? Would
unless
you
you
go
graduate,
JUCO?
unless
Huh?
you graduate. If you graduate, then you don't have to worry about entering. Then you can. The portal rules don't matter. This is for undergraduates. So let me just clarify that for people that don't know. Undergraduates, you got to the 22nd. But if you graduate, say you graduate in the summertime and you decide you want to leave, you could bounce.
Right. So Michelle Harley says Ivy needs to stay and build on what she has left. Now, my question: if you were in her shoes as a head coach, would you go JUCO? Would you go internet? What would be your approach to building that for next season in a short window here? Right, because it goes by. It seems like you have a lot of time, but it's a short. So what would you see would be best for Notre Dame's roster? What, would you bring in JUCO players,
One, you
portal?
have to. For me, I would try to snag an international two players, but you have to understand the landscape of international players. Would they be willing to come over? You can find some pieces over in the international that can come over here and help you out, but are they willing to leave to come over here to play? Would be the question. You can always find help in the portal. There's not really a top end high school kid that you can go get right now unless they decommit from the school that they're going to right now. So your best bet is to hit the portal, but you got to understand what do you need, what kind of pieces you need to build around Hannah. Those are the things that you really. For the wings, I would be looking for some bigger wings that can defend, that's more athletic,
Right,
bigs that can finish around the hoop, but also got a little dog in them that ain't afraid to hit the glass. And then just let Hannah, be able to play in a pick and roll situation where she can come downhill. I think that's the biggest thing for Notre Dame is trying to find some wings that got that D and 3 mode in them. They can knock down open shots when given opportunities to. They can defend, so we don't have to put so much pressure on Hannah to defend the best player or one of the top guards on the team. So That's my thinking of it. What you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to go along the lines with looking for more defensive foot speed, and I might have to settle for a little bit of streaky offense and do some more set plays to generate offense to so you can increase your defense. And you might have to keep the game. I think with the you transfer portal, you've lost some offensive skill sets, so you might have to know. You might, depending what they bring in, keep in mind that I might need to keep the game within the 60s.
Yeah.
High 50s, low 60s, if I want an opportunity to win. So you might have to be flexible, right? Because we're not going to outscore anybody. So yeah, definitely along the line of getting some defensive foot speed out there on the court, and and just having probably 2-3 different offensive sets that I know I'm gonna have to go to because we don't have what you call the natural offense. There's nobody that's going to just play in space
And
you know,
pace. Yeah.
space and pace, right? And go to work, go to get cooking. So you know what you have, and run some sets of people on the strips. I really didn't see a lot of screen action with Notre Dame. I thought they were going to do more screen action with between with Olivia and with Hannah. I thought you'd do more screen action to get her shoot. Maybe she can't shoot off the screen. Maybe that it.
I mean that's me. I'm a big screen and roll, get your action type of coach. So
Yeah.
for
So
me, when I didn't see it, I was just like, what are we doing? Like, you got two guards that want to get downhill and attack. Why not put them in open space where it makes the game easier, where it makes a defender has to collapse on you, which now you have a kick, and now you got the defense scrambling where you can go kick, shot. So
right.
that's how my mind was thinking. I'm like, man, the way y'all playing, it's not beneficial for anything that y'all trying to do to help y'all win basketball games. And so
Oh man, I
she
hear
might
you.
need to tweak her offense a little bit.
Exactly. Thank you, Coach Coleman. I know I held you up from getting back out of that unexpected
My
delivery come
pleasure.
to the
No,
door.
it
I
was an
appreciate you.
honor. I was a host for 5 minutes. It was an honor to fill in for Auntie.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you,
So
man.
you
Thank you
buy
so
me a
much.
Coca-Cola tomorrow night, Auntie.
Yeah, man. We gonna figure it out for sure. We gonna figure it out for sure. I mean, and then y'all was talking about the portal. I heard something about that. There was another some more breaking news. Another player to the portal. Who was it?
So
You
Uh,
said
Watson.
Notre Dame.
Watson from Notre Dame. Yep.
I know how it goes. You heard it here first. How about here breaking news? Uh, okay, we talking about the portal. These kids coming out the portal. How important is the conference? Like, when do you decide to leave the conference? When do you decide to stay in the conference? Does that matter? Is that something you should consider? Does it just come down to your basketball style, or does conference matter when you're trying to go pro?
I mean, conference does matter, right? To an extent, because it's how many pros are producing or sticking out of that are staying, have staying power in the WNBA, and have recently come from that conference.
Oh
And then
man,
it and
staying
then
power
it's
gonna have us here another 4 hours. We gotta let Rob go. At sometimes staying
right.
power in the WNBA. Oh goodness,
Well, I'm saying,
man.
and so then it's your style, your skill. Where is your skill set needed? Where would it fit? What would it complement? And then is that player that's in the portal, are they mature enough, and do they have a responsible business team that says, hey, looks like you'll play well with this player at this program. Looks like you'll play well. You know what I mean? So you got to really sit down and break that down.
I
Not
mean,
just
I think as
numbers.
fans, we say we like SEC, Big Ten, whatever, right? At the next level, when they're looking at players, do they prefer a SEC player over a Big 12, over a Big 10? Does that matter? Is it just how you match with my team? Do they even consider that?
I'll say this. They really don't. They do value the SEC because there's more athletes in the SEC, more to what the style they want to play. But you don't always get the skill set in an SEC player like you do if you go to like a Big Ten that's worked on a skill set. So yes, you get more athleticism by getting an SEC player, but you get the better skill set getting a Big Ten player. It really don't matter. It's really about the development of the player and the potential of what can you do at the next level. That's really what it comes down to. Conference only gets you so far, but then do you have potential to help us grow and win games? What do you bring to the table?
Okay, because I mean, I don't know. I don't know. For me, I don't know about y'all. Some of these other conferences, I don't want to be specific. Big Ten. Hey, the game's hard to watch, man. They just hard to. They hard to. It's like, man, come on, man. It's like watching paint dry sometime, and then the refs get to blowing the whistle, and it's like y'all just prolonging this thing, man.
Yeah,
They won this game in the second quarter. Please, let's get it over with. I don't understand how that happens. With
because the Big Ten is about slow grind basketball, like grind out possessions. Do you got bigs they can rebound? Like it's like the Big Ten is easy to break down. That's why the basketball. That's why it's hard to watch because their game is not modern to now. They got a lot of old school coaches that think that you're still playing in the 1980s and everything has to be slow ground possession.
Elevator.
But as a conference, don't you want to get with the program and get to where they win the championships at? Don't you want to like slow grind out, get it into the big and win a championship in a minute? Like, come on to be a Jetson, Flintstone.
It's hard to go against them when you got Caitlin Clark that's made it there. Her Iowa team. Now you got UCLA that's there. You know, you would have USC. Like when you got teams, 3-4 teams in a Elite Eight, it's hard to go against. Long we get there, they might not care about winning the national championship. They just want to get to the Elite Eight, Final Four, and that might be good enough for their conference for the revenue share. So they probably don't care. Versus the SEC, we want that national chip. We want to know, what I'm saying, where we stand at.
I mean, wow. SEC almost had 3 teams in the Final Four. Yeah. Almost.
I mean, that basically just sounded like we okay with Elite Eight money. Like, bro, like we good as long as we get this Elite Eight money. Is some of these schools is saying?
Listen, as long as they got one school making it to the Final Four, they done their job. They got the paycheck they wanted. No matter if you win it or not, we still get the same paycheck if you win a championship or not. We got somebody in the Final Four. We get the same cut.
Got it. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, some of these players, I don't know. I think some of these players got to start making some decisions too. I think the earlier they make some decisions, especially, well, I guess summer workouts start. I guess you got to be back like June, July. So
middle of June. Middle of June is when most players should be reporting back to their college, incoming freshmen, stuff like that. So they could be at summer school classes, stuff like that. So it'd be about the middle of June when you start seeing a lot of these players hit campus. So a lot of these players gonna start making their decisions. Like I said, after the championship game, you're gonna start to see a run of players going places, things like that. You gotta let the rest of these games play out because they could be committed to a school that's currently playing right now, and they can't make a decision because the school is currently playing right now. And some players going to leave. So,
and it's not just them picking the school. Effect. The school has to want them too, right? Like it ain't like I just decide I want to transfer here. The coach got to say yeah and all of that, right? So, at what point should you start
offer a scholarship? You can say you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
At what point do you start panicking if that offer ain't came? Do you start looking around like, hey?
No, if you didn't call a school. And you told them that you're gonna commit there, you already got an offer. Like you ain't just commit to the school without no offer. That ain't even. No, you're not even waiting on that. Yeah.
How close to the middle of June if you haven't been able to commit someplace or been able to come up with maybe you thought you had a plan, right? Because I'm sure there's some of these kids that went in here and thought they was going someplace until another kid was like, hey, guess what? I'm in the portal now, and the school might back up off you some. Like, man, I wasn't expecting Latson to hit the portal, so. Now I'm trying to holler at Latson instead of you. You got to kind of scramble and find someplace else to go. When should you start panicking if you ain't been able to commit nowhere, before the middle of June come? Because you want to be there for the beginning of the summer workouts, right?
No, I mean it's really a preference though, because what you got to realize is if a kid ain't feeling the school, they can hurry up and go and graduate and transfer in the middle of July, and transfer on you and hit the portal and be out of there. Now what you gonna do? So it works both ways in that situation of
That's a good strategy. I like that. If you can go ahead and finish your
you can
school up to
if you don't
leverage
like the
up.
structure of the team, because here's the thing: when you get to junior, I go to the individual workouts and all the trainers and all this with the strength and conditioning team, and you don't like what you see from the team, you could just go graduate and leave. And what you gonna tell me? It's kids that was leaving in August, and they was signing kids in August. It's not supposed to happen that way, but it does based upon you went through workouts, it didn't go as planned, and some people just went and graduated and bounced and left in August right before, because you really got it to school start to. So whenever school started August for their universities, when you got to be lock loaded and sit on to a team. So you got up until August really.
Right. So I'm gonna head out on this note because I gotta get back to the work. Act like I'm doing something.
All right, Coach. I appreciate you popping up, and I want to know, Rob. I ain't gonna keep you here too much longer either, but I do want to know how often does it happen where school calls like, "Hey, we was, but now Cody is available." So
that happens all the time. These players ain't stupid. They talk to each other.
sorry, not sorry. You got to find somewhere else to be. But I hit the portal because you said it was cool.
Yeah,
I hit the portal. We talked. I hit the portal. You said it's cool. Now I didn't hit the portal, and Cody to show them you like too bad for me. What I'm supposed to do?
Yeah,
I gotta go back in. I gotta go back in that locker room. Like, hey, coach, I thought I was, but I can't. Can I come back?
But see, so this is why you seeing people right now not hurrying up to jump the gun about committing to a school right now. This is why you're seeing this happen. Because if you go commit and somebody hit the portal that's unexpected, you be like, damn, I was coming there to go play with so-and-so and so-and-so, but then they just hit the portal on us. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's a cat and mouse game of like, why you ain't seen this whole domino effect of all the top players committing yet and where they gonna go on their visits to. This is why.
Got it.
That's why I'm telling you, like, until the championship game is finished and they declare a champion, you really not truly gonna know because they got 48 hours. Because you still trying to see what people trying to figure out is who going to the league, who ain't going to the league, and then they can make a decision on where they finna play at. That's really what's going on right now. That's why I'm surprised to see Jada commit so early to Iowa State. Well, all thing I can tell you is they offer her some chicken that she couldn't turn down. That's the only thing I can tell you on that standpoint for you to commit that early. And then she went to 2 schools in Iowa. She didn't even look nowhere but the state of Iowa. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's shocking for sure. Not the breakups, the makeups. So, I mean, wow. Okay. So you say you look at a Jada. She's made her decision. She's locked in. She's ready to go. When you're looking at these programs, when you look at like a Sarah Ashley Barker, she hasn't said anything yet. Is that surprising? Like Alabama's done.
Ain't nothing surprising.
That's surprising.
It's not surprising because she's probably gonna commit to a team that's playing. I'm just. The thing about it is some of these.
Well, I thought she would declare to go to the draft. So that's what I thought I would say more. I thought she was gonna declare for the draft. I don't even know if she got more. If she even had more eligibility.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, if you're thinking about a team that's in the Final Four, you can't even go on a visit because they're at the Final Four. So you gotta wait for them to be done for you to go on a visit. Like you can enter the portal and you can make your decision how long ever you want to make it to. You ain't got to make it immediately, but that's gonna be a domino effect. It just doesn't make sense. Did you go on a visit to see everything that you need to see? Because that's pretty much how LSU set their players up. Like you got to come on a visit. You ain't come in unless you come on a visit. You come on a visit, you know what I'm saying? We can talk business and we go from there. So if you ain't been able to get on a visit to see the school, you probably not gonna commit to that school. That's just the truth about it.
If you're planning to go to the W, does it matter? Is there a benefit to letting them know that you committing early, that you declaring for the draft early?
I mean, you got a timeline. I mean, you had to have been already declared. So I mean, you got 48 hours after your game. So you kind of know if they ain't declared in 48 hours, they ain't going to the draft. So figure it out.
Oh, see, you know what? I thought it was a certain date, and then they had to do it by
No,
48
no,
hours.
no, no.
So
So
Sarah Ashley Barker should have already declared that that's what she was doing.
yeah. So
Mm.
it's the Elite Eight and Final Four. They got 48 hours after their game. So whenever that last minute, when that clock hits zero, from that standpoint, they got 40 hours. That's why I said Big Four. You gonna know about LSU what's going on right now because they on the clock and they got till midnight. Once midnight strike, you got to know what you finna do. Now publicly, whenever you want to come out with it, that's a whole different other
Mm-hmm.
situation. But you have to
That's a
inform and
good
put your
point.
paperwork in.
That's a
Yeah.
good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, you can come out and say whenever you want to say, but you have to put your paperwork in 48 hours when you last played. So, and then you got until 5 days before the draft to remove your name. So if you gonna hit the portal, or you gonna not go to the league, you got 5 days until 5 days before the draft to say you're not going. Which I kind
Got
of
it.
was, you know what I'm saying? I kind of was wondering how this draft was going to be with the CBA in the league this year of, damn, y'all going to play, y'all not going to play. Like, what does that look like? Now that's going to impact who goes because why would you want to go to the draft this year to have a BS rookie contract when you going to get a better contract next year during the CBA? Next year's draft
Yeah,
is
I
going to be
mean,
a lot deeper. So now you're going to get that draft class is going to have a lot of people that stick in the WNBA. It's just going to be a deeper class, and it's going to look like, man, this might have been the best draft ever because the class is deeper because of the kids that didn't come out.
there's gonna be a lot of choices out there. It's gonna be a lot of choices. I mean, which isn't a bad thing because they're gonna have an expansion draft for two teams to come on board, right? But I
Yeah.
still just feel like a lot of those spots are gonna be taken up by international kids.
But just
Um,
but just think what everybody did, man. Y'all can have my pick this year. I'm trading it. I'm trading it because I need next year's
yeah,
pick. Next year's pick
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
matter more than this year. Hey, yeah, y'all want that? Cool. Because these teams know ahead of time if a player like iffy about coming. So it's like if I'm Seattle, right? If I don't feel like it's a kid that can change my program, I'm trading that number 2 pick for next year pick. Man, who I can get that I know hey, Connecticut, what y'all want? We give y'all this number 2 pick right now because we know y'all finna lose next year. So let's go ahead and take that pick so I can give me at least guarantee give me a top 5 pick, which I'm gonna have more value with that pick next year than I am with this pick.
And plus, I mean, this year I think if they do play, because a lot of players are going to be on 1 year deals, it's only going to be certain teams that are going to be able to buy a competing team, if that makes sense, right? Based on facilities, what they can offer in pay, and then the talent that they will be able to put around the team. Only a few are going to compete
Hey,
this year.
yeah. Dejanay Kelly should have went to the league. This her best opportunity. She better seize all the top players that ain't hitting her. She better go. Cause next year she was not gonna get drafted.
So and then okay, so she gets drafted. What chance do you give her of sticking?
She's gonna stick because they got one expansion team. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna stick because of that for 1 year. After the 1 year, I don't know what it looks like.
Mm.
So
I mean,
she
so it's a
gotta
good
go.
opportunity. It's a good
Yeah,
opportunity to get some film then
yeah,
and prove that you can play at this level.
yeah. This the
So
best. This the perfect opportunity.
So would you say are there other players that you don't mind naming that maybe should take that maybe should take that route? Like, yo, you need to come try to show somebody that you can't stick at this level, because it's kind of iffy on you sticking. Like you could get drafted but not stick, right?
Honestly though, if you got low draft stock, it really don't matter this year. This would be the year you want to come out instead of going back to college to try to build it up. Because even if you used to build it up, look how many great players coming out next year that you're gonna be behind. That you ain't gonna have, like it's gonna be more hard for you next year than it is this year. So if you got low draft stock, go to the draft this year. Then go prove yourself why you deserve to be there. Then none of this matters.
So let's say I go. I guess it doesn't matter because I was signing a rookie deal. Because I was gonna say, what if you don't get protected in
Cause
the expansion draft?
yeah, see, here's the thing that you don't know, right? What the contract is gonna look like for the CBA next year, right?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of guarantees do they have? You know what I'm saying? Can you not just cut a draft pick now, like you could do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because the CBA, It's gonna be some different language in the CBA about draft picks and all that stuff. It's gonna be some different language. So what does
Oh
the
yeah, it
language
should
look
be.
like?
They should be negotiating for sure. Yes.
So what does the language look like next year to this year? That's what you running the risk of. So if I go into the draft, I know that they can guarantee they can cut me at any moment in time, and I might be out of job. But if I go next year, if I get picked in the first round, I'm guaranteed for it. They have to keep me on the roster for a year, and I got to get my bag to make it to year 2. Like you just don't know. Some type of guarantee is gonna happen from draft players because it's too much of like you just drafting players and cutting them and not giving them an opportunity, and they probably could have helped you, but we don't know because you cut them and they overseas, and now they can't get out their overseas contract because the stipulations and they contract over there. So, and then on
All
top of
good
that,
points.
they might have made more money overseas. So why would they want to make less money to come back to the league?
Well, I mean, I always wonder that. Other than the opportunity to play for a national championship, right? At that point, like I mean, not national championship for to be a WNBA champion, to say that you was a champion of this league, where
Yeah,
they say
but
this the best players in the world. That's the only reason.
to
It's not
sit
for the
on
bag.
to sit on a bench to make less than 250,000 when I can go and make a 750 overseas and get a
Oh no,
championship
no,
over
that's what
there.
I'm saying. I'm saying you got to be coming to play, not sit on the bench, to play for, to be a
Yeah,
part of winning a championship, not just to come sit on the bench. It's got to make sense. But that's the same thing I say about players that transfer and end up on the bench. If you jump in the transfer portal and you're still sitting on the bench, then what did you transfer for? Especially if you transfer from a program like a South Carolina. At least you could have had some jury, had some fun, went on some trips, play deep into April. You know what I mean? Like,
I
come
mean,
on.
I look at it two different perspectives. If you going from one bench and because think about it, with the revenue share piece, it may make a lot of sense. Hey, I'm only getting 50K over here, but if I go over here, I'm getting 125. Hey, business is business. Business booming. You know what I'm saying? So
Still sitting on the bench. Is that
still sitting on the
is that
bench.
what you
Hey,
said?
but listen, I gotta. Hey,
Okay.
listen. You can talk all that one, but I got an extra 75K to sit on the bench, look pretty, have my hair done,
So
makeup done, NIL did
so
like.
is that the difference of like going from a Big 12 bench to a SEC bench, right? That
Yeah,
is that what we're talking about? Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
okay,
It's
I can
like
understand that.
you gotta think about it. A lot of this is just marketing, right? Because you're gonna see another change next year in the transfer portal. Because now the with the revenue share piece, now it don't matter shit. If I'm a bench player, I know I'm gonna get a check and I'm making more than what I was making over there. Shit, let me get some of that. You know what I'm saying? And if I carve out a road, I carve out a road. If I don't, it is what it is. But I know I got way more money over here than I did over there. You know, and that's how some of these people gonna look at it. It's just the nature of how the game gonna
Are we?
go.
But won't we start seeing coaches tapping players on the shoulder?
Oh, you gonna see that?
Hey,
You
even
gonna see that?
more like, hey, you might as well go and jump in the transfer portal. I hope you save some of that 125 because you out of here, homie.
But also though, when that player come, they gonna know what their role is though. They ain't gonna just be there because they gonna know like, hey, listen, we brought you in for academics. Hey, we brought you in for practice player. Hey, we brought you in for potential 7, 8, 9th man. Like you gonna know. Like they ain't finna just gonna put you on the bench now. You gonna know what your role is. You better execute and accelerate in that
So
whatever that
wait.
role is that you just got the extra 75 to 200. Hey, you bet. Hey.
I heard you say academics. So there's somebody sitting on the bench just because we need you to get a 4.0?
Yes.
And they know that. They need you to
Yes.
come to practice and get a 4.0.
Yes. Hey, listen. Hey, player 12, player 13, player 14, player 15. The last 4 players. All you here for is GPA. We need you to bring up the GPA on the team so it looks good on paper. So our cumulative GPA looks at a higher number than what it should. That's all we need you here for. And we gonna pay you for it. Yes. That happens all the time. Because you got to think if a coach got a stipulation, say you at a high level institution and that matters.
Coach, I still got some eligibility left, and I'm a damn good student. What school can you get me in, Coach? Sign me up, Coach.
Hey, listen. I can
Sign
go
me
ahead.
up, Coach.
I can get you 75K just to sit on the bench as long as you go to class and do the work what you're supposed to do and be a great teammate. Slap hands, you good.
Wow.
Like literally, that's what's gonna happen.
That's a hell of a college job. That's better than working in the library or the calf.
Well, I'm trying to tell you. And listen, and you get all the travel gear, you get all the shoes, you get all the perks still. And all you gotta do is just go to class and do everybody work, be everybody's study buddy, help everybody on the team with their homework, whatever they need. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do. It's literally players that get paid to do that. You think them? Hey, I ain't even know. You think them smart white kids on the end of that bitch they there for a reason? They're there to help our GPA go up. Better, hey, we need. I
learn something new every day.
You need a GPA kid. That's what they're there for. Like and that's why. Just think about it. Now you get to have 15 scholarship players, knowing that all 15 scholarship players ain't finna play. Come on, son. You got to be here for something, right? We can't have you here getting in trouble, being a knucklehead. You got to bring some value. So your value is to bring the GPA of the team up. Because we know our star players ain't going to class. Don't get me started with that. We know they ain't going to class.
That's a heck of a conversation to have with a kid, though. Now, look, hey, you're not going to get no playing time.
No,
you're not going to get no playing time, kid.
Let
me tell you what you can get.
You know why it ain't hard to have that conversation? Because more than likely that kid come from a family that already got money, so that don't really mean nothing. They just paying tithes and offerings. That's all that is. I'm just being real about that.
Did you say tithes and offerings?
Paying tithes and offerings, what they doing? Yeah. That's it. But I got about 4 more minutes before I gotta get up out this thing. Cause all the doors of the church are gonna be open for sure. All right, listen, come here. You're gonna be our prayer warrior. You're gonna come in here. You're gonna do the classwork. I'm telling you how this conversation going. You're gonna come in here. You're gonna be our prayer warrior. Anybody need help on their books? You're gonna help everybody with their books. You gotta have a minimum of a 3.3 GPA. If you don't have a minimum of 3.3 GPA, you're gone. Okay. So now that we know what's going on, do you agree or don't agree? If you agree, go ahead and sign that contract right there. If you don't agree, we'll see you later. We'll get the next person.
And the parents know too. But see, I don't want the parents calling talking about no playing time or none of that.
Listen. Yes. Listen. I got a Stanford jersey on. My daughter played for Stanford. What you gonna tell me? Where your daughter playing at? Oh, okay. I don't care. She sit on the bench. What am I? Hey, listen. Listen. And when that player get that 75, we gonna split that 75 up. You know what I'm saying? For whoever needs something on the team. You know what I'm saying? Just pass the collection plate around. They just start just to make sure the GPA. They don't get all the perks, and then the money they supposed to be getting. Oh, that money getting passed to other players. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said they pay tithes and offerings. They know what's up.
When's the next time we can see you? When you live again?
I don't even know what my schedule is. Just hit me up. Let me know. I'll come up, pull up on you.
Well, we definitely gonna try to get you back up here for Friday, but we're definitely gonna try to get you up here to talk some pregame for the Final Four. What you think about what's coming up with these two games? Who you picking and all that kind of stuff? So y'all be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna try to figure out why my camera never came back, and we'll go with that.
Just let me know. Yeah. Hey, listen. If y'all pull up on Wednesdays, hot takes. Don't be afraid to ask questions. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you the answer from what really going behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these coaches that quote unquote got these high GPA teams. All you gotta do is just look at the end of their bench, and that's gonna tell you everything you need to know why they got a high GPA team. It ain't the star players.
130 in the chat. If you didn't hit that like on the way in, do me a favor, hit that like on the way out. Like I asked y'all yesterday, when y'all see me on social media, share them videos, share them posts, share them links back out so that people could catch this conversation even on the rewatch. We trying to build our rewatch gang up.
Hey, listen, I just need 5 people, just 5. I ain't even asking for a lot. I just need 5 people to go and share this live when this live ends and make a tweet on X or post it on IG, wherever you on, whatever platform you on. I just need 5 people just to share this stream of this educational piece y'all got today, and just share this out. And that's all we ask, man. Appreciate y'all love.
With the link back to this live. Share it out with the link back to the live, y'all. We appreciate that. 5 of y'all. Hey, we back for sure next Wednesday. We gonna see what his schedule is, and we gonna get him back. Until next time, y'all know what it is. Y'all stay tuned. Talk soon. I'm in the mansion. We out.